What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Game Over Greggy Show. I am one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer / seducer,
It
Nick
threw you out there
Scarpino.
for a second.
It did, because you're not right there for me to touch.
I like you. You can
I like you too.
You got a long wingspan.
But you got to do like this and push Carboni out of the way, and then you touch it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carboni doesn't mind.
Yeah, no. Over here, Anthony Carboni. Returning guest, Anthony Carboni.
Woo! Returning champion. What's up?
Still drinking your gruel.
Yeah,
Drinking all my space powder.
There's a couple things going on here that I don't appreciate. One,
Sure.
you kept the sticker on that. That bothers me.
Do you know what? It looks like,
what's
do you
that
know
one?
why? It looks like one of those stickers that's going to be hard to get off. And if there's one thing I hate more than a sticker on something I own, it's that sticker gunk.
The residue.
Sticker gunk.
Yeah.
I think you just want people to know that this is a blender bottle brand product.
It is.
BPA free genuine.
That's right.
And you want?
I ain't going to have that
Love
cancer
Genuine.
leaching
Ride
into
that
my
pony.
skin. I'm going to have the aliens listening to my thoughts or whatever the fuck it is
That's what
we don't
BPAs
use
do.
BPA for. I don't know.
Over here, the pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty.
Did you know I'm from Long Island?
I did know that. It's more interesting when you meet somebody who's from Long Island that you didn't know that about. 'Cause
I'm
they
from
didn't talk about
Coram.
it all the time.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Coram, New York. Yeah.
I'm from Brookhaven.
No shit.
Yeah, that's so weird. Coram's right next to Brookhaven.
Yeah. It's the
Jesus.
Selden
Here we
Center
go.
Each metropolitan area.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I was only there until I was like 7. I'm not like, yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, right?
See, he got out and made something
Your
of himself.
eyes
That's why he doesn't have to promote
perked
himself
up.
Center
around.
Mariches. What?
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
just perked up so much.
I had no idea.
You've never liked Anthony Carboni till right now.
No, now I like Anthony Carboni.
All of a sudden we get along like gangbusters.
Over there, the pure one, Tim Gettys.
Do you know what the date is right now?
In real life or in the life of people
in real
watching
life,
this video?
not on the day that this video is going live.
The 9th.
Today's December 9th. I was peeing.
Oh, I know what this is going to be. Go ahead.
Do you?
Yeah, 2
Oh.
years, right?
This is the 2-year to the day anniversary of the Game Over Greggy show.
No shit!
It's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Congratulations, guys. That's awesome.
Back then, Anthony Carboni wouldn't give us the time of day. Now he's a 2-time guest.
There
That's
we go.
right. That's
Things
right.
happen. Things were different then.
Fortunes change, my
love-
friends.
I love when you
People
rock the
rise
mic.
and they fall.
I like this a lot. I have a stigma. Wait, hold on. Rise and fall.
Yeah, man.
Who rose and who fall?
I don't know.
Are you coming down to our level or?
I think
We going up to
I think
your
we
level.
passed like 2 ships.
Okay.
No, you guys have always been kind of faces of different things. So
Sure,
you've always
faces
been kind of up
different
here.
things. Yeah.
I like to think
You're
that we're all
face of
growing
things.
together.
You are a face
Yeah.
of a lot of
We're all
things.
growing together.
A lot of
I think it was like a nice
Me?
little
Yeah.
we met somewhere and now we're just like
Now we're
lovers
besties.
in a
Yeah,
dangerous
We just
space
move.
zone.
Great
Yeah.
game.
Don't be pimping games.
But they're good games.
It is a good game. If you didn't know, each and every week the Game Over Greggy show comes to you on Friday over on patreon.com/kindafunny when you toss us a few bucks. If you have no bucks to toss, you head over to youtube.com/kindafunny where we break it up topic by topic, day by day before we post the entire show for free as an MP3 and video. What is the show? It's simple. 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table. Each bring a random topic of discussion for your amusement.
I know it's been a couple weeks. But you still kind of smell like Jeff Keighley.
When you are in the air of video game royalty and become the trending gamer, it sticks with you.
When do you two have to fight to the death, by the way?
No. That's not
Probably
how it works.
soon.
No.
Probably.
No.
I thought it was a Highlander situation.
No,
It's not a
that's
Highlander
awesome.
I'm
Sooner
just
rather
excited
than
about
later.
it.
No,
You
it's
get
not-
the
that's
knowledge
not
of
how it
Cosmos?
works.
I don't know.
Anthony Carboni.
Seems like a Highlander situation.
No,
He threw you off of your intro, which
I know.
threw me off of the
The table.
I was like,
you didn't think
shit.
I'd get back to the table,
Oh, I
pound,
was
but
worried.
I did.
I was worried,
Luckily,
but I
I've
had
only
to-
been
I had
doing it
to
for
be there.
2 years.
Yeah.
So when I mix paragraphs up, I can get back to them. No
I never
big
missed
deal.
one.
He's a pro.
I'm never planning on missing one, Greg. Thank you.
Now back to your point. I like to think that when it comes to like video game people and whatever, Jeff right now is the emperor.
Yes.
And I get to be Vader. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
okay.
he still outranks me by quite a bit, but I'm the one out there doing the dirty work, getting the awards and stuff. But he's off in the wings, shooting lightning at his hands.
Yeah. He's the puppet master.
He's like lightning Konami to death over there.
Does that mean Kevin gets to be Darth Maul?
He's too Canadian and benevolent to be the emperor, though. Like, he's
sure.
the nicest guy in
Well,
the world.
I'm a nice guy too.
Well, but you're kind of a Vader.
No,
I am
kinda-
kind of a Vader.
You're a
I
little
do
bit of an
hate,
egomaniac.
I do
so-
hate sand.
He could turn at any moment.
Oh,
Anthony
Lord.
Carboni, topic number 1 is who the hell is Anthony Carboni? Because
Wow.
I was looking back at the
Broad
last
topic.
Game Over Greggy show you were on, and we brought you in as a guest. Colin was gone. You were here. You were talking, and we talked about your wedding, but we didn't give like I don't know your origin story. I don't know how you got to where you are now, because you for the longest time you're just some
doomed
kid.
planet, last hope, kindly farmers.
Tale as old as time.
Yep.
But no, it's one of those things where I remember you always being around, and then you just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more popular, and now you're hosting the premiere of Star Wars.
Yeah, that happened.
So
at the
dial
time
me-
at the time this is coming out, that happened.
Yeah.
Right
For you, it
now,
hasn't happened.
For me, it has not happened, and I'm freaking out about it. Are
you really?
But yeah, sure. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Sure,
What
but
does that entail?
You're a pro. You're a pro.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
walk us through this. You walked me through
Okay.
it a little bit earlier, but this is a fascinating thing that you've committed yourself to doing.
And
Sure.
time out before the show goes any further. I'm sorry. I want you to. You're the guest, so you get to tell me. Do I have pit stains? I'm wearing a gray shirt. Am I all
bit.
pitted out
Not
and
yet,
gross?
but you
No?
will. But I can tell that you will by the end
It's
of it.
Because it's hot in here.
I specifically
You doubled
put
up.
on an undershirt because I knew I would have pit stains by the end of this. That's why I'm a
See,
pro, and
I'm
that's why
gonna
I'm
be-
hosting
oh,
the
you got-
Star Wars
yeah.
red carpet
Get on the mic.
because I
Kevin's yelling at you.
know when the pit stains are coming. No, I live in constant fear of that. I had pit stains all through PSX. If you go back and you watch my interviews, I'm doing like robot arms, like T-Rex arms.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
makes
yeah.
it worse though.
Just
It
like,
makes it
oh, it's
bad.
so good of you to come. Like trying to shake hands with people halfway across a couch with
That
like
looks
tiny
nasty.
Toy
You should see
Story.
it from my perspective, this looks erotic, oddly erotic.
I'm sorry, the question was what?
Did I have pit stains? We've covered a little bit.
Great.
Kevin,
Yeah.
at some point, I want you
Topic
to-
number one,
I want you to
pit
army
stains.
crawl over and you can get me one of the black shoe hey shirts, extra large. Number 2, though, what does hosting the Star Wars premiere entail?
So as of right now, it's all sort of up in the air. But I know this much. I know that we are getting out there pretty early in the day. I believe that we go out at 4 because people are already lining up. People have
Right now.
People started lining
On
up
December
12 days.
9th.
Yeah, they started lining up about 2 days ago, and they already have tickets. Like tickets are all pre-purchase. But it's one of those things where they just want to be there while the red carpet is happening. They want to be there the moment the door opens. They want to hang out together, dressed as Mandalorians. Most
Yes.
of them are Mandalorians right now.
Got it.
70% Mandalorian right now, probably 20% Stormtrooper, and then an assortment of other characters. But they're
Is
all.
there any Wattos, you think?
I would dress. as
I hope
Mandalorian.
so.
Yes, there needs to be a Watto. Did you know Watto's
It's
my
probably
favorite Star
Brian.
Wars
It's probably
character?
Brian Altano.
Out there in gray face paint.
So we're gonna get there a little bit early. It's gonna be me and Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com and David W. Collins, who is a voiceover actor who plays basically every classic character in all of the Star Wars animated stuff. Like if somebody isn't available or can't come back for the animated, like David can do their voice. He's
Nice.
amazing. I think he's also Han Solo in those radio plays that they put out every year at Star Wars Celebration. So he's good. He does all the stuff. He does all of the things. So it's gonna be the 3 of us, and we are literally a stage on the red carpet. And as everybody is coming into this premiere, people who are involved with the movie, celebrities who have been invited to the premiere, anybody who is there, Andy and I and David interview them as they go in. And it's going to be live streaming on StarWars.com, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We will fuck this up. Something will go wrong.
Oh, of course.
Because
but
it is
that's
live.
Just live
Yeah, that's
programming,
just
though.
live.
You can't put that on you.
I say that to set myself free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
always say that before I do a live thing. I'm like, I will fuck this up in some way. And then I go out and I do the thing.
I've been associated with a number of live products. And
I
of
thought
course
you were going to
this-
say a number of fuck-ups.
Oh no! Well, I'm getting to that. This business notwithstanding, because
You were the face of the bullet blender for a while, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
that was me.
Those were excellent commercials. It was you and Brooke Hogan.
I also used to be Billy Blanks' personal assistant.
Wow.
Yeah, I did his abs.
Wow.
You
You
did
did
his
those
abs.
Yeah, I
abs.
used to do his abs all the time.
You're the man behind the abs.
Just make them up.
You're the
Cut 'em
Emperor
up a little bit.
Palpatine of Billy Blanks'
I am
abs.
What's funny is I had Jean-Claude Van Damme on my mind, but Billy Blanks came out for some reason. I don't know why. No, but I mean, look, we've done a lot of live stuff. It always goes wrong. It's not when.
Yeah.
It's not if. It's when. That's the way it goes. But just have fun. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
of
fun.
course.
I mean,
It's-
I enjoy watching.
It's
you
going to be
fuck up.
huge.
But here's the thing: you didn't fuck up this. You did the other Star Wars one too. I saw you interviewing J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
You didn't fuck
What's
that
he
one
smell
up.
like?
Yeah. They,
Yeah, what does he smell like?
Does he smell like gold?
he smells like success.
Yeah,
It smells like success and just a little bit of hair product. Not too much hair product.
the right amount.
You know what I mean? The right
The
amount
right
of hair
amount of
product.
hair product.
Rain those curls in.
Mhm.
That's what he smells like. No, that was amazing. That was an amazing time, and I was. That's another thing. Like when I say I'm nervous or I'm gonna fuck it up, I mean that's just like. I'm nervous because it's so exciting. You
Sure,
know what I mean?
sure.
This is such a it is a positive nervousness. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like it feels like throwing a surprise party for a friend or something. Like
Sure.
like will we pull this off? This is gonna be so amazing. I can't wait for this moment, sort of thing.
But your friend is Han Solo.
My friend is Han Solo now.
Yeah.
What's
and
up?
Chewy.
So now we know that. Great. Here's where you are right now.
Yeah.
Pin in that. Dial me back about 28 years.
Wow.
You're in Yonkers, New York.
Yonkers, yeah, that's me. Yes, it's me and Robert De Niro, and it's a period piece about the blue collar. No, I guess I started doing stuff. Like the first thing I did that kind of got me started my career path was I did Attack of the Show for a week. You remember when they were looking for a new host for Attack of the Show? They had an open call. I had just moved to New York, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I'm going to make my way in the big city.
I'm going to make my way in the big city. I had just auditioned for the Spider-Man musical.
You did not.
Yep.
You did not.
The first time they tried to bring it out. Remember, they were trying to bring it out for like over 10 years before it happened. And I moved to the city and I got like some weird agent that sent people on cattle calls all the time. And he's like, you look like what they're looking for. Go audition for the Spider-Man musical. Couldn't sing, couldn't dance, but I went and I did it. It was a crushing experience.
I'm sorry. We got to stop there.
Yeah, fuck the topic about who are you. I want to know all about the Spider-Man musical.
This is the same musical that where someone like died, right? Like, didn't someone fall? To
Someone
their
hurt
death?
themselves real bad. But this was, so they were trying to make it for like 10 or 15 years. So when I auditioned for it, I want to say
if there's one property that desperately needs to be a Broadway musical, it's Spider-Man.
I still want to see that musical though, dog.
Well, it
that
was like
sounds crazy.
Attack the light or something.
Yeah.
Turn off the dark.
Turn off the dark.
Turn off the dark.
Sorry, my apologies.
Broadway's Julie Taymor and Bono got together and they were like, I think we got a handle on this Spider-Man thing. If you're gonna pick any two people to retell the story of Spider-Man, probably Julie Taymor and Bono.
Yeah.
It's gotta be a rights thing. Someone was like, "Oh, I just realized that the rights to Broadway Spider-Man are up. Let's get them."
Yeah,
that has to have been it.
Something was going on. Something was happening. But yeah, I got sent to an open like a cattle call, and you had to prepare a monologue, and you had to cold read some lines, and there was like a dance audition, and I didn't know what to. There's like an episode of Friends where Joey pretends he can dance. Have you seen that episode?
Yeah.
That was me.
Okay.
That was me. Like I had to go in and just totally fake it.
What do
And it
they do
was a
though? They just
crushing
hit play in a boombox, and you're supposed to like freestyle it out.
and somebody leads and they're like, okay, this is what we're doing. Keep up. And I'm like, no. No, absolutely
You're like,
not.
listen, there's got to be somebody in all of this New York where that just sits around in like at the Daily Bugle. I can do that.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'm not Peter Parker. Maybe I'm like movie Eddie Brock.
I was gonna say, you know this guy in the background who also has a camera that the audience infers as Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
And they expect in the sequel musical.
Smarmy and talentless.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that was my first thing. And I got sent on like Volkswagen commercials when everybody in a Volkswagen commercial was wearing like my glasses and
you
looked
mean
like
now?
me.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of that stuff, and I was terrible at all of it. And then they had an open call for Attack of the Show for a guest host because Kevin Rose was leaving. And I went to the open call and I was like, oh, this is the sort of thing I'm supposed to be doing.
Gotcha.
Because the audition was like, you would come in and they were like, we want to talk about internet memes. And I was like, yes, please, let's do it. Or we want to talk about comic books. What do you know about this? They gave me like the SATs for dorks. And I was like, I'm ready. I've been ready my whole life.
I've been prepping for this test.
I
my
felt
entire
like
life.
this was my last Starfighter moment, right? Where it was like, this shit was useless. And now I'm the king of the world. So I went out and I did a week of Attack of the Show. It didn't work out. They kind of the three guys that they brought out to sort of be the guest hosts got kind of like, no, sorry, we've decided to go another way. And that's when they got kind of bought by E and they brought in Olivia Munn and kind of swapped up the show. But I kind of came back and I was like, dude, I want to keep doing this. How do I keep doing this? And so I started an internet show about indie games called Bitejacker, which was pretty big for a little while. Like in the indie community, I mean, this was like 2005, 2006 when it was like, wait a minute, you can download games that weren't made by giant corporations. Like, what are these games? What are they like? And it was just like a review show and like weird sketch comedy show about indie games.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and Revision 3 saw that and moved me out to California, and I, helped them create Rev 3 Games, and then helped them create D News and Hard Science and all the stuff after they got bought by Discovery. And that's basically it.
But then you left that. You left Discovery. You left San Francisco.
I did.
And you went to LA.
I went to LA.
You got a dog named Dagger.
I got a dog named Dagger.
Best dog in the
I got
world.
drunk on my birthday and bought a dog with my ex-girlfriend.
Like you do.
Yeah. My ex-girlfriend surprised me with a ride out to wine country on Long Island in the North Fork. And what's up?
Does that
Just silently with the fist up, like I know what's up. We went out to the wineries and we passed a puppy store on the way back.
A puppy store.
And we were blitzed and we had been talking about getting a puppy. And I found Dagger Cannonball Thunderfang, the perfect prince, the most beautiful boy in the world. And
and his Instagram is simply Dagger.
just Dagger.
It's badass.
Was not taken, surprisingly.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we moved Dagger down to LA, me and my fiance, now wife, and kind of struck it on our own. I think it was kind of, when I listen to you guys talk about your thing, I think it was kind of a similar deal where it was like I'd been creating a lot of stuff for a lot of other people, and it was a great time, and I learned a lot. But you kind of get to this point where you're like, oh, this is all I can do here.
Yep.
There's nowhere else for me to go here, and it's kind of a bummer because like these people are, I worked there for 4 years. I mean, those people were like my friends and family, and it's like, but if I stay here, I'll just be doing this forever. And there's nowhere to kind of move up. So kind of had to go,
So when you went down to LA, I mean, did you know that you were striking it out in this, I guess, independent hosting thing? Or did you think that, DLC was going to be the real thing that you're going to focus on?
I think you mean We Have Concerns. DLC is Jeff Kanata's.
Aren't you Jeff Kanata?
Wow.
That's for you, Jeff.
I'll take it.
No.
I mean, I think anybody would take being mistaken for Jeff Kanata.
Good job, Greg.
He's very tall.
He's beautiful. He's a beautiful man. Those piercing baby blues of his. I just I went down to LA and I was like, okay, well, let's see what happens. Cause I had already hosted E3 for Sony.
Right.
While I was working at Discovery, which,
Sure, that went over well.
it was a little rough to navigate and
You get
negotiate.
dragged into a couple meeting rooms for that one?
Yeah, I mean, everybody was actually very supportive, but it was kind of like, it was more about like, we can't let the mothership know that we're letting you double dip. You know what I mean? Because everybody was very much on my side. They're like, this is a great opportunity. Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you do this? How do we hide from the corporate office that you're doing this?
Like, how many people watch that? How many people watch
Not
that?
many people.
Not
It's
big
It's not
of
a
a
big
deal.
deal, right?
E3 for Sony is like what? Like 20 people watch that or something?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a couple people in the audience. Too.
It's me and Colin.
Yeah. And then I watch you and Colin at PSX and we just all watch each other.
Exactly.
No, so I was kind of like, all right, well, the last big chance I took was leaving New York to move to San Francisco, and it worked out great. So, okay, close your eyes and jump. Like, let's see what happens. And after Sony, I got asked by the BBC to host the Doctor Who 50th anniversary, and then, which was like, like I showed up with my own bow tie and celery for my lapel, and they were like I came with celery wrapped in wet paper towels so it would stay fresh. And I was like, this is for my lapel. Can you give this to the person doing wardrobe so they know? And they were like, oh, we hired the right guy. Thank you. So that happened.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
It's for nerds. It's okay.
No, there's quite a few of our people that listen to this that would know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm
And they're
offended
like,
you
Nick,
didn't.
you're an idiot.
I'm
do you
offended
not
you
know
didn't
that-
know that when you played half of the Doctor Who Lego Dimensions DLC with me. Like, you should be an
To
expert.
be fair, I got stuck in a room and then you fucking left me. You just kept going back in time and leaving me in that room.
I had to go get all the studs. You understand?
You have to get the studs.
Okay.
You have to. Which Doctor do
game
you
now.
play as predominantly?
Well, in the one, it's pretty much Peter Capaldi.
Okay.
And then if you die in free play, you come back as the other one.
Yeah, but you can go into the TARDIS and be like whoever you want, right?
Sure, but I mean, Capaldi's in the cutscene, so I don't want to break.
I
I don't want to break the immersion.
continuity.
I don't want to break the immersion.
I get it. I understand. This is supposed to be the one thing we do a week where I don't have to do this.
Yeah, that game's actually really fun, by the way.
It's
yeah,
great. All those Lego games are fun. But yeah, so this stuff's just started popping up out of nowhere. Tara Long and I did a TV show this year. That was all like basically the TV version of the internet show we did where we do giant science experiments and I set myself on fire a lot.
Yeah.
Kevin. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, so things have just sort of like, thankfully, I've been very lucky, and the momentum has been just kind of like it's kept going and it's kept up. So it's been great.
Is it so? What you're saying here sounds very passive. How much are you? I mean, you're out there hustling. Are you making calls every day and going on acting, hosting runs and whatnot and auditions? Are you calling up Jeff when he's doing his super popular podcast DLC and like, hey, stop doing that show?
How do I get that? I call up Jeff and I'm like, how do I get that Dodge commercial money? How do I see my face during football? What's up, Jeff?
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff and I have been doing this podcast. But we started that ourselves. We've got a Patreon for that. It's called We Have Concerns, and we do it 3 times a week. And it's kind of just all about like the weird, future-y, science-y, philosophy stuff that we love, but we do it all as like sketch comedy. You were on the show.
Yeah, it was really
You've
good.
been on the show. You
It
know
was
what
fun.
we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Everyone
good
should go
time.
download it.
Hey. Yeah, so I mean, we do that stuff on our own, and then I've been pitching a lot of TV stuff. TV stuff is slow, man. TV stuff is slow. I mean, that's the thing is like, I think I've been popping up on stuff, but people are like kind of like, oh, what? Every time I show up on something now, people are like, where have you been? What are you doing? Because people have been used to like seeing me every day on D News or something,
Sure,
or every
sure,
day
sure,
on Rev
sure,
3
sure.
Games, and they're like, what do you do now? What's going on? And
Yeah, like a host stuff.
because TV is like, I don't know. We pitch a show, and then like a year and a half later, it's like, I think we'll let you have your show, which is kind of like a pain in the ass.
Sure, because you've moved on.
Yeah, because I'm kind of like, oh really? That thing? Like,
I've got better ideas now.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of hustle. I mean, I'm starting up doing my own thing again, which is kind of scary, but also awesome.
What does that mean?
I'm gonna be doing on my YouTube channel, which I've been doing some stuff on my YouTube channel all throughout the year. I did like live coverage from PAX and Indiecade, and I've been doing kind of like science videos. I did a video that was pretty big earlier. I guess it was like beginning of the year. That's all about like your brain and video game lag and how much of lag is actually physically hardwired into your body and your brain.
Got you.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times when we think something is lag or we think we hit the jump button before we fall in a pit, it's because there's like 120 millisecond delay between your finger and your eyes and your brain. And no, you didn't hit jump. You fucked up.
Tim, that explains the Rock Band problems we were having.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So I made a whole video about that, but I haven't had a ton of time because I'm like
Doing a million other things.
doing a million other things.
Right.
So yeah, but I'm trying to do more of that stuff. I just started a Patreon for that stuff too, which I'm very excited about because you guys know.
What's
like,
the URL? Pimp the URL.
It's patreon.com/acarboni. Hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
I'm putting that up right here. Kevin's putting it up as
Kevin's
we speak.
already got it up.
He's writing it on his graph paper.
Kevin's got it
Kevin's
up.
got it up already.
Kevin's got it up, and he's rock hard.
He's got what is? Are you writing all those notes in a Moleskine, the fancy notebook of Pablo Picasso? Because you're kind of the Picasso of our times.
Really,
Yeah.
he's the Picasso of like eating.
Wow. What does that even mean?
He's just a beautiful eater. Like
Is
when
it-
I watch him eat, it's like art.
What
I
is
don't
it about
understand it.
his eating that's particularly attractive?
The volume of it, I think. The sheer volume,
Now,
the
by
unadulterated volume.
Now, by volume, do you mean amount of food or noises?
Both.
Wow.
Both. That's what the art is, right? It's both. It's the ability to exist
Kevin's-
in both planes.
There
Kevin's
is-
not a loud eater. He's not. He is a prolific eater. But he's not a
There's the depth and a breadth to his eating that simply cannot be
He
matched.
checked down a chili cheeseburger last night. It was a work of art.
Son of a bitch.
And then he put a milkshake on top of it.
He looked like
And then he
looked like
Snapchatted, fuck yeah, milkshakes, but he only had one milkshake.
Well, I mean, he's showing milkshake solidarity. He probably
Sure,
loves
sure,
all
sure.
milkshakes.
Yeah.
He does a lot.
And he's lactose intolerant. That's the other thing. he puts
No,
himself into
Kevin.
situations.
Wow, you probably should though. When your
Not a
body is
bad idea for you
screaming,
to
when
do
your
that.
body is screaming for help, you listen. Is the thing that I've learned. I don't know.
It's true.
Everybody,
fine. He's gonna be okay.
you gotta,
Special guy.
follow your own star. But I don't know how many. I mean, I don't want to get too into it, but like your body cries for help. You drink a milkshake, and then like how long are you in the restroom? Because there's like one restroom between the five of you here.
It's not bad.
Okay.
No, but it's one of those things where Kevin, when it's time, and no matter what he's doing,
I mean,
we
that's
go.
just how I live my life.
But the problem with
I can
Kevin
go
is he
back.
doesn't let his body tell him anything. But he does let his body tell him that he can only poop at his house. So we could be at Target
I
looking at the
enjoy
Legos,
pooping at
and all of a sudden Kevin's like, "We need to leave. We're driving to my house right now. I need to poop."
Can I tell you something? My instincts, my neuroses tell me to be that guy. My neuroses scream at me every time I have to take a shit in public. My brain goes, just don't though. Just don't. Like, what is it going to take? Do we have to be here? Do we have to stay here? Couldn't we go home? How far away is home? Is it 40 minutes? 40 minutes is nothing. We can hold it. We can hold it. Why should we do this in public? My brain says that to me every time. I just don't want to like, That's a slippery slope that ends with me with like jars of pee in my living room and like wearing tissue boxes on my feet.
My
you know what I
body
mean?
has failed me too many times. My body has failed that test too many times.
Yeah.
Well, let's get home. It's like, no.
Yeah, Greg, you of all people, just wherever you're at, just pick a
Bird in the
corner and
hand,
go.
worth two in the bush.
It really is.
I'm going to whatever toilet I see.
Sometimes you got to go in the bush.
That's happening.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I have seen Greg shit in a bush. So and wipe with receipts from his wallet.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here in San Francisco, you can use any noun as a toilet.
I think that's in the bylaws. Of
A person, place, thing, or feeling could be a toilet in San Francisco.
I feel happy. I'll shit in it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I used to live on like right by the 24th and Mission BART when I lived here, and the escalator in the BART station was always broken
of human
fuck,
feces.
yeah.
because of
It's
human feces stuck in the escalator. What's up, San Francisco?
And you left it all behind to go be a big time TV, internet, everything star. How do you describe yourself to the people you meet now? What's your job title?
My job title, I guess, it's tough. I guess my job title is I host and write things.
Okay.
You know.
That's a good one.
I feel like that's broadening though, because my wife always asks me that. She's like, I have like friends who ask what you do, and I don't ever really know what to tell them. And I'm like,
Producer
"Well,
/ seducer, done.
yeah, I'm sure that's gonna go over real well with an extended family, with her grandparents back in Holland. I'm like, oh, okay, producer. I'm
sure this impression's going over real well.
They don't listen to the show, but it's hard though, because like, how do you define what we do these days, right? We do some like
Internet personalities.
We are internet personalities, sure. What does that mean? Because then people go porn. They do porn.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm okay
Trust
with
me.
people
Male,
thinking
all
that.
male.
No one's
porn.
looking at me going, that guy is porn.
If there's one
Watch
thing
his
I know.
porn, sure.
There's one thing I know about porn is that there is a porn for all types. That is very true. Colin and I were
Porn
talking
for
about
all
that earlier.
seasons.
We were talking about just some of the heinous porn that we watch and
Just terrible shit we stumble on.
yeah.
And then
I can't
search
believe
for
I
again.
found this
This is crazy.
through this heinous search term I put in.
It's so
computer.
weird. I thought I was heading for a review on a camera I wanted to buy.
That's where it always
so-
starts.
I thought the camera it's the Sony DVDA is what I was looking for, right? It was the DVDA 3000.
Yeah.
No? Is that not it?
I've never
you are.
actually looked that up. The DVDA.
No?
No, I've heard the jokes, but I've never looked it up.
I feel like DVDA
Have
is one of
you
the
guys seen
tamest things you can look up now.
But I mean, have you actually seen that?
I've never seen it. I don't go in for that kind of like wilder shit. Not on that spectrum. There's lots of crazy shit that I go in for, but the idea of like what do they call it, airtight or whatever that shit is, like I just can't do it. I can't go in for that.
They call it airtight?
There's one called airtight.
What does that mean?
Huh.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I guess filling
hole.
the openings the most you can to
With-
make an airtight seal.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure, I got you.
I've just never. I don't want to get off on a tangent on porn. That could be its own.
Well,
You do want to get off
we
on the
were
tangent
talking
before. That's
about
the
who
whole
Adrian
idea.
Carboni is, so we've already stumbled off the track.
Very true. Very true.
No, but
Are you looking
seriously,
at me to
talk
keep
a little,
going?
yeah, can't talk a little bit about porn if you would.
Yeah, porn's just one of those things. Porn and I have had a relationship for so long. It's hard
Sure.
to really bring down into an hour and a half long discussion about.
Are
it.
you a self-loathing porn watcher?
No.
No?
No. But I do. But as I get older, I do watch porn, and I think to myself, like, who is this really for? Because this is, I mean, it's obviously geared mostly toward like 99% guys, right?
Sure.
You look at it, you're like, is this like, what is the fascination with it, right? Because it's not real. It's clearly not real. Like, no, there's a formula to every single porn you've ever watched, whether you know it or not. There is a formula.
The pizza needs to be paid for, but they don't have money.
Guys sitting on the couch, the stepsister walks in. Oh, we
Just
can't
a
do
shadowy
this.
triumvirate with hoods on. The pizza must be paid for.
How will you pay for this pizza?
But yeah, but the more and more I look at it, I'm like, shouldn't we demand more out of our porn?
I mean,
You know, why does that have to be formulaic? Why does that have to be like a Hollywood like rom-com where it's like, I know they're gonna get together at the end, and then he's gonna blow on her face.
counterpoint. Hasn't porn sort of pushed all of the technology of the home video industry forward?
It has. I mean, one could make that argument.
And
I
so it's
suppose.
done a lot of good, I guess, in that way.
I'm not saying it's bad. I
No.
don't think it's bad. I just
No, it's
think that
definitely not bad.
lately, as your access to this stuff is like unfettered, unblocked in any way, shape, or form, you just see a lot more of it, and you're like, there are just commonalities to porn. Most porn is clearly geared toward guys, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And it's geared toward guys who don't have an understanding of reality of what sex is. And so I guess that's what I
Like
have
Greg.
an issue with. Well, no, Greg doesn't have an understanding of reality, period.
Right, that's true.
Period.
That's a good point.
I think my
case in point.
1960s Batman porno parody I watched was quite accurate to the source material.
That's hot. Just link me with that. No, I don't know. Just lately, that's been occurring to me. I'm sure I'll go back into the fray once more.
I don't think you've left, Nick. You're saying these
Back
things.
into the breach.
Yeah.
the
Once
breach
more.
difference.
Yeah, no. Porn's a very
Sleep
interesting
well, my
thing.
brothers.
You
Before
say,
we ride at dawn.
You say demand more of porn. I say we should demand less of it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need all that filler stuff. I mean,
Like-
we're getting that. At this point, porn might as well be
YouTube clips.
YouTube.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
clips.
it's
And we're getting
just-
personalities. I'm getting vlogs out of this shit
you know
now.
what?
It's ridiculous.
My thing is I begin to feel about it sort of the way I felt like when I first played like Shenmue back in the day.
Okay.
When I played Shenmue back in the day, I was like, I didn't get as into it as my friends got into it, even though I was like the hugest. I was like waiting for this game. I wanted this game so badly. I was the biggest Dreamcast fanboy. And then I started playing it and I was like, why am I driving this forklift and like sweeping the dojo and whatever? Like, I have actual laundry that needs to be done. You know what I mean? You get to this point where you're watching a lot of porn and you go, man, I could be like washing the dishes, talking to real people,
Or having sex with my real wife.
sex with my real wife.
But,
I don't
you know.
think
Why
hit
am
that
I
point
doing
yet.
this?
No, Tim's not at that point.
Yeah,
yet.
no.
And that's who the hell Anthony Carboni is.
Mostly porn.
Yeah.
If I want people to walk away with one thing to describe, like when they walk away and they go, I didn't know who Anthony Carboni was. Isn't he that porn guy that was on Kind of Funny?
It's like what Kevin. We want everyone to know Kevin's a prolific eater,
Yeah.
right,
It
Kevin?
really is. It's beautiful. It's your strong suit, Kevin.
We all need to walk away with disappointing
Listen to it.
superlatives from this episode.
Exactly.
I think.
I'm sure we're on our way. Nick,
Yes, sir.
what's your topic?
I want to talk about Christmas.
Timely.
There is no Christmas without Christ.
What a great transition.
No, it's
What kind of porn do you watch on Christmas?
Just the season. Mostly just Santa.
No.
Going through all those big, beautiful reindeer.
A lot of chimneys getting stuffed.
Ho, ho, ho.
Airtight chimney.
Eating those cookies. You know what I mean? Drinking that milk.
Jingle balls.
Drinking that milk.
Drinking
Yeah.
that big, beautiful milk.
Straight from the source.
Straight for the
Wow.
Hard to shift gears on that one, Greg. Hard to shift gears. No, I don't know. It's the holidays. What are you guys doing for the
is.
holidays?
I'm going to go to Seattle, see Steimer's folks.
That's fun. I like
Yeah.
Seattle. What's Seattle like this time of year?
It's like Infamous.
It's like Infamous. No, it's chilly.
Yeah.
Sometimes it snows there.
Greg, are you
Sometimes it
excited
doesn't.
at all for Christmas? Do you get excited about
No,
Christmas?
I don't get excited for Christmas.
No? Why not?
Halloween's the best holiday.
It is. Everyone knows that.
Christmas and Thanksgiving just come up with responsibility.
What about
to
the
go see
Nightmare
people.
Before Christmas?
Never saw it.
What?
Yeah.
Greg, fuck you, man.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
100%.
bullshit.
No,
I don't
like-
even
because
know.
you've never seen Roadhouse. So let's pump the brakes
point,
on that.
counterpoint.
Let's pump the
True.
brakes on that.
It's true.
Fucking throwing stones at glass houses over there, McGillicuddy. So you're going to Seattle,
Yeah.
and you don't like it because it's too much responsibility.
Christmas in general, not Seattle or anything.
The
Fills with a lot of
my
responsibility.
responsibility to
Seattle
Seattle is
known.
minimal.
known as being the city of responsibility.
You go there, they assign you an orphan child to take care
God
of.
damn it, I don't
Until
want
you
this kid.
Jimi
Why did I
Hendrix.
come in here?
Bruce Lee, responsibility.
That's what they were. That's what
Seattle.
They were. No, yeah, Christmas. You feel you gotta reach out to people and talk to people, and then all of a sudden you're not going home, so you got to talk to them about that, or you do go home, and that's stressful enough in its own thing.
There's
When
a
in-
social anxiety with Christmas.
The
a
best
little
was
bit.
when when it was just like, man, it's really the best is always it's too expensive to go anywhere, so I'm just gonna sit here for 2 weeks and play video games. That was when Christmas was the best.
Yeah.
So, but then that still comes with the anxiety and the guilt, right? Because like that's what I
No.
just experienced.
Because it was just like I literally can't do this.
Interesting.
Don't buy me gifts.
My problem is this. I think my family's all in California, so it's not that hard for me to get to either side, either my wife's family or my family.
Sure.
So it comes with no matter what, I'm disappointing someone. And
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that's what I always go into.
That's
is
my
that-
whole
that-
life,
yeah.
though.
It's just
That's every
but
year,
why do
every
we,
day.
every
Why do
day.
we do
Every
it?
moment.
Why do
Yeah.
we do it? You
Parents-
know?
Infinite
parents and
branches of
families.
decisions that lead to the disappointment of somebody every day.
Yeah.
But do we need
Literally.
those sort of constraints, these tentpole, these landmarks every year to actually be forced to hang out with our
I
family?
mean,
God,
I would love to make an argument. No, but the problem is that there's the answer of yes, because this is when families get together
true.
and things happen. And the problem is that it's a societal thing that we've built these 2 holidays up to do this, and now everyone's locked into it, and there's no way to get out of it because the other generation was locked into it too.
But they're too goddamn close. Can we just move
Thank
Thanksgiving
you.
to the summertime?
Yes.
And then
Can
we'll
we
be
get
good?
around? Let's just 4th of July.
But let's move Christmas to where Jesus was actually born, which is probably in the spring. See, this is what
I was
we
going to
need.
say the Fertile Crescent. We all have to go to the Fertile
We're going to
Crescent.
go to the Fertile Crescent.
I'm not going to the Fertile Crescent.
We're going to Nazareth, and we're all going to celebrate Christmas together.
Awesome.
No, Thanksgiving is where it should be. We should have Christmas in like April or May.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'd love that.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be
Because it would
easier.
also bisect the year nicely, right?
Yep.
So you get a nice springtime visit with your family, you get a nice wintertime visit in with your family, and then you don't have to worry about, because the problem is
Then you don't have to see 'em again.
even though we're gonna go, yes,
Perfect.
because the problem is even though, I'm sorry, time's up.
Jesus has come.
She's like, I heard you've been
You're
talking shit.
Yo, my boys want to go to the Fertile Crescent? Get in the van.
Get in the van. I want to go to Jesus' van desperately.
Get in the Jesus van.
Does Greg, in your mind, does Jesus' van have an airbrushed picture of Jesus on it?
No,
Oh, no.
it's still got a wizard on the
I
side.
thought it,
Because he has the coolest van.
I was envisioning the Libyans van from Back to the Future.
Yes,
The little
it just-
Volkswagen
It
bus.
just pulls up and just opens up the door. It's more like a kidnapping when the Jesus van comes for you. Bag over the head. Get in, bitch. We're going to Nazareth.
I watched a documentary called Back in Time. It's about
Yes, it's so good.
So
it's
good.
really good. But for the first time, I watched that and I was like, huh. It is a little strange that this guy's hanging out with this older gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a little weird that he got plutonium from fucking terrorists
Yeah.
to start the film.
Yeah.
That's how the film starts. Where'd you get this plutonium? Terrorists. All right, cool.
Paid me to make
Never
it.
make another mention of that again. The terrorists never come back to kill him. I don't know. I mean, I guess
I mean,
in
they
the
do.
end.
That's
But
kind of the
but they
whole
don't-
thing.
You know, he keeps going and he's still there.
What do they call that? The movie device that doesn't really matter.
The MacGuffin.
The MacGuffin, right?
Yeah, that's what the plutonium was. Well, I
Named
guess
after
it's so
Stephen
funny.
McGuffin.
Was it?
No,
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I think that the Thanksgiving and Christmas are so close together because then you do have the two family tree thing. So it's like, all right, I'll do one with this family, one with
Yes.
this. You know?
And that especially
Until you miss things.
that's especially a power move when you get married too, or you're in a long-term relationship, because then it's like Thanksgiving with your family,
Yeah.
Christmas with my family, and
switch
then,
and then switch.
if those two sides don't want to come together, that's on them. We tried. We did our best.
Yeah.
So I ran into this quagmire though this last holiday season. Is I went my wife runs her own business and all of her clients go out of town during Thanksgiving and primarily and Christmas. We decided to go on a vacation during Thanksgiving, which left us with the impossible decision of where do we go for Christmas? And then you are really, it is like the Sophie's choice. You're like, I gotta pick one of these and kill the other one. So we've chosen my mom because my mother, God bless her, is the most intense out of all my family. If I don't see her once a year, I'll never live that down.
Sure.
Ever. She's an Italian mother.
Yeah.
So-
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
there's that. So we're going down there, but I know that my other side of the family is disappointed with it. And you're going to disappoint someone no matter what, and it sucks. It just sucks.
I don't
Are
like
you
Christmas,
ready
man.
for this?
Christmas is dumb.
Thank you.
It's real dumb. And Kevin loves it. Kevin is the worst. He wants Christmas trees everywhere.
You could look at Kevin and just know he loves it.
Right.
How many elf's hat does he have? How
Yeah,
many you wearing
he's
these little
one of those
green
festive
hats?
motherfuckers that's like the amount of Christmas trees that I have been tricked into going to literally cut down and transport, and there's fucking pine needles everywhere.
Sap.
You cut
And then
down
having
your
it
own Christmas tree?
because he's a fucking. He's
That's badass,
no,
dude.
it's not. It's annoying and it's the worst. And then we have to deal with his.
I mean,
mom.
the whole
It's like,
practice
there's
is
so many
terrible for
moms
the
involved.
environment, but it's badass that you're doing it.
Whatever. We just go into the
whatever,
Golden Gate
man.
Park, cut one down, and we're all set.
I think I like Christmas the way like kind of the Japanese like Christmas, which is, man, I like it when we all get together and decorate a city. You know what I mean? I like when we decorate a city and it's really like nice looking and everybody just feels a little nicer for a few weeks. I don't like anything else about it.
I like the twinkling lights
Yeah.
and stuff, and like I like it when you turn off the lights in the living room and you have the tree lit up, and like that's cool.
And then
you
the
drink a little
division
eggnog.
happens and it's decorated for Christmas forever
Right.
after that.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
nailed it.
That's part
Wow.
about the division. I love it. Christmas is whatever it is. I don't really care anymore about it. See, it's one of those things where it just becomes more and more irrelevant as time goes on.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like I'm not going anywhere on Christmas. I'm just gonna stay here and just do whatever the fuck it is I do, which is literally almost nothing. Like literally almost nothing. And over Thanksgiving break, I was like, I want to play these games. I didn't do fucking anything at all. You know, so it was great. I haven't barely played a video game in like 2.5 weeks. I don't even know what I've been doing. So I'm just gonna keep that feeling going for
Yeah.
as long as possible.
I think as you get older, it's just kind of nice to have those 3 days as like breathing room. And I think that's where the sort of like, I don't think we really hate like the pressure of having to get together with our families. I think we would like to get together with our families if the pressure of the rest of life wasn't also there and we couldn't, you can see those 3 days as, dude, if I just stayed home during these 3 days, I could have a lost weekend, Colin Moriarty style, and just sitting like, who knows what I did over those 72 hours? I don't know. I went into some sort of coma and I just sat in a vegetative state because I'm so tired of my life all the time. I need
Sounds like Colin.
I need those 72 hours to like recharge and then go right back into my life, you know? And then you kind of get into this thing where it's like the logistical planning of the holiday. Because it can't just be like, all right, well, let's all meet at grandma's house and who cares what the fuck happens. It's all like, well, when are you getting in? And when are you getting in? And let's make sure that we're all riding at the same time. And where are we going? Whose house for dinner? And what will you be making? And what will we be watching? And we should all see a movie. What movie does everyone want to see? When are you available? Shut the fuck up. Let's all just sit on the couch silently.
Yeah,
Silent night.
But see,
silently.
that's the crazy part to me is when I go down, I can go down literally any other weekend, and that's what I get. I'm like, Mom, I'm coming in at this point. Can you guys pick me up? Otherwise, I'll get a car or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'll come pick you up, and that's it. That's all the plan is going to it. My mom will text me generally the day before and be like, I'm making pizza, and I'm like, well, I'm not eating carbs. She's like, well, I'm making pizza anyway. You're gonna fucking eat it. So I eat it.
Is it good pizza?
Oh fuck
I
yeah.
bet she makes
It's the
really
best
good
pizza on
pizza.
the planet.
All right.
It's like freshly. I mean, she buys this dough. She doesn't make it anymore because she's a little. It's too much time. But she buys this fresh dough, lets it rise. I come in and I roll it out, throw it, put all the stuff on it.
Are you doing this in a wife beater?
I have been. No, I don't wear wife beaters, but there is a couple of pictures of me wearing like a low V-neck white shirt.
Yeah,
and I shit you not, there's a couple of them where there's like gravy stains on my.
Is there like a coat
chest.
rack next to the door, but instead of like keys and coats, it's just like chains? It's just like gold chains and pinky rings, and you put them on as you come in the door.
How many crucifixes are in this kitchen?
Hey, I'm back.
You gotta cross yourself before everything. Everything.
I do like that every Italian mother is Ma, though.
Oh, it's Ma.
It's the only. That's the only sort of Italian American affectation I have to my entire speech pattern. Is my mom is Ma,
Yep. That's
Ma.
what we got. Ma.
and not to other people, just to her. My mother is what I say to other people.
Oh yeah.
But when I go Ma.
Oh my God, yeah. And it's funny because I don't know how it is for you guys, but there's some part of me that reverts when I go home.
Yeah,
And
sure.
I'm a 35-year-old man, but when I go home, it takes about a day until I'm a mama's boy again, and I'm screaming for my mom to get me something, you know. And I'm like, it's literally from the fridge in my house where I grew up. My parents still live there. From the fridge to maybe where the couch is, where the big screen TV is, it's like 20 feet. But I shit you not, my mom could be upstairs, and my first instinct is to scream for her to come bring me something, or take a glass or something. I mean, she, you know, I'm a mama's boy. She loves it. I try to pull my weight when I'm down there, but I love going. I love getting there, but it's just the anxiety that everyone I feel like that creeps into you that you're like, God, there's so much to deal with. It's like anything else that's kind of worth it, but it is good to see your family. But I do. There's been one time when I went down after the holidays.
Yeah.
So I went up north to see my sister-in-law first, and then flew back down, and that was better because it was just literally just the three of us, and we just hung out, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
The four of us rather. But I don't know. There's something to be said for my mom's Christmas Eve dinner.
Yeah, that's
though.
do you guys do the fishes?
We do but we just do a gigantic Christmas Eve dinner. Like we have like 10, 15 people over.
We still do the 7 fishes, which is horrifying for me. And then my mom still makes me chicken cutlets like I'm still 5 years old, which is awesome. She's like, I got you. Like my little nephews who are like 4 and 6 are like eating like lobster and all this kind of stuff, and my mom's like serving her 31-year-old son chicken cutlets because he won't eat seafood because he's a fucking baby. But yeah, no, because I grew up, my mom's Italian, and I grew up in a very Italian household, and it is nice to go back and be fed and eat. I eat a lot. Sausage and peppers, pasta, ziti, big ziti, of course, lasagna,
Ziti.
whatever, chicken cutlets, chicken parm, all the works, But then I got it. There's too many people in my family now.
Yeah.
Like, so I have 3 siblings, my parents, their significant others because they've been divorced forever. Then my uncles and aunts, my cousins, then 6 nieces and nephews. And like the last time I went home, the Giants and the Jets were playing the day after Christmas. And I was like, I'm leaving, and I'm going to the bar to watch this fucking football game.
Right.
And they were like, no, you're not. And I'm like, I'm leaving to watch the Jets game. So people ask me what the last Jets game I missed was. Well, that was the last Jets game I missed because they would not let me fucking watch it.
Wait, they wouldn't even let you
and
turn
I
it
was
on?
like, never again am I coming home for Christmas. And lo and behold, I never came home for Christmas.
That was
Wow.
No,
Wow. And
wish that were
spend
true.
some
and
time
that
with your
is
family.
the true meaning of Christmas. Can I ask you guys, what's your Christmas movie? What's your holiday movie?
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Home Alone, man.
100%.
I love
Home
Home
Alone.
Alone.
It's a good one.
Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
Christmas.
That's a
Vacation.
great one.
I mean, it's been forever since I've seen them, but I miss watching like Disney Channel and Nickelodeon and just all the Christmas specials. It's
Yeah.
not so much a movie. It's just like The Rugrats Christmas special and Hanukkah
Boy Meets
special.
World, stuff like
and
that.
Boy Meets World,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. And all those stupid claymation things. that are
TV
just
in like the
horrifying.
80s and 90s, even like network TV was just like the most random parade of licensed holiday specials for different, like, here's a bunch of toys we want you to buy celebrating Christmas. And I ate all of them up. I ate them with a spoon.
Oh, yeah.
And the next day I was like, I think I want that toy for Christmas. I enjoyed watching them celebrate the holidays together.
I want to give a shout out to Jingle All the Way.
Sure
Why?
you did.
Classic.
Schwarzenegger movie.
Turbo Man?
Turbo Man,
it's
dude.
Turbo time.
Sinbad?
Oh, yeah?
Phil
Man,
Hartman?
Sinbad. The homie.
The only part that I loved about that movie is I can't remember whatever Turbo Man's shitty sidekick is. You remember this thing? He was like I forget, but he was like a hamster, like some kind of thing. When all hell breaks loose at the parade, he falls off, and these kids around him start beating the shit out of him. And one kid goes, "We hate you!" It's like such an honest moment of them hating this stupid thing.
Did he just reach in real hard and grab his cheek?
He probably did. Reached in and grabbed the cheek.
One thing I'm excited about is after Christmas, I'm going to go to Vegas for a few days.
That's fun.
And I want to just see, I've never been to Las Vegas during the
winter
holiday
time.
season. And Vegas is this weird place to me where, and we've been there many
I
times.
feel like it's got to be so depressing to be in Vegas for the
I'm
holidays.
Wait, you're gonna be there for New Year's or
No, just like in between.
So in
Christmas and-
between the holidays.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I usually don't go outside when I'm in Vegas. I'll just figure out a way to not ever leave. You know.
You actually will go outside now though because it's actually cold.
Yeah,
You'll like it a
it'll
lot
be
more.
nice.
Yeah.
But
How
as
cold
usual,
is cold?
Like this. I mean,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not 110 degrees outside with no humidity whatsoever. So it's actually nice. I've gone to Vegas before, like during the January, February months. It's nice.
But as usual, what I'm most excited about to do in Vegas is what I'm always most excited to do about
Smoke
Vegas.
cigarettes
chain
inside.
smoke. That's all I do. I chain smoke.
You and me both, brother.
Like I don't typically smoke cigarettes. I love cigars, but I'll smoke whatever you put in front of me in Vegas because I just love walking
Put some meat
around.
in front of him.
Like I love the I miss
Smoke some fish in Vegas.
Yeah, smoke some fish, smoke some meats, like Greg was talking about on Colin Moriarty. But I'll just buy a pack of cigarettes, whatever. They're like, I'm like, I just like look. You know how they have the little kiosks that you just buy like tobacco, like, all the, and I just look. I'm like, I don't know anything about cigarettes. I'm like, yeah, I'll just take a pack of Parliaments, I guess, whatever. I don't care. And then I'll just walk around all day and just smoke them.
Which one of these has the most fiberglass? Let me put it in my lungs.
I just love the idea that there's just still a place where I could just smoke cigarettes, you know,
yeah.
inside. Like I was staying at Treasure Island or whatever when we were there for PSX. So that was like 2 times ago. I was in Vegas.
T.I.
And there's
Frat
that
world.
there's that like kind of broke ass Portillo's like hot dog place in there. And I'm just like smoking cigarettes, like waiting for my hot dog to be done or whatever. I'm like, this is fucking rad. There's like these people over here playing cards at the table. I'm like, I just want to smoke inside because it makes me feel like I'm in a different time.
Your Christmas gift to yourself.
Can I tell you, like, at a hotel like that, in a place like Vegas, something that I love to do that's kind of similar, where, like, I'm not a huge drinker anymore. Like, I don't drink a lot. Like, I go out and have a few beers now. But if there is a place that has a swim-up bar,
Oh, dear.
God, that's dangerous.
there's just something amazing about the swim-up bar, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where you're just like, I'm going to swim to a beer right now, and I'm just going to float around with this beer in my hand. This is heaven.
Yeah, that's what the last time I did that was in Iceland at the Blue Lagoon.
Oh, so good.
And it was
So good.
It was you can't see like 5 feet in front of you because it's so fucking cold, but the water's so warm, so it's just all steam.
Not only that,
And
but
like I just get a beer, and I'm just like so hoping I don't run into anyone, like
it's
just
like
drinking my beer.
steam and mountains in the distance, and the water is like sci-fi water that heals your wounds. Like that's seriously like the big deal about the
like
Black
that.
Lagoon is there like these
Lazarus
microbes
pit.
in the Black Lagoon in the Blue Lagoon that have like they're not anywhere else. They're just in the water at the Blue Lagoon, and like you go in there and like you can see like you can watch cuts heal faster and stuff like that. It's like the Lazarus pit.
That's crazy.
It's nuts. And you just come out and you're like, I have had 7 beers and I am healed.
my body was like the only thing I remember about getting out of that water was my body was like a slip and slide when I got out of that water. Like I was like drying myself. You would take a shower afterwards, and I'm like, what the fuck is all over me? I was like glistening, like I could barely like.
You have, like,
I grab my hand and
baby
just like
skin.
it like squeezes
It's
off.
the skin of it's the skin of an impenetrable child.
It's like Kevin.
A bulletproof toddler.
It's exactly like Kevin.
With
The sheer volume you can eat after you get out of the Blue Lagoon.
It's terrifying.
a bulletproof
Coated his insides. He's just
Kevin, a
drinks it.
bulletproof child with a prolific eating habit.
Pros and cons. Kevin.
Pros and cons. Amplify smells.
Kevin just doesn't even pay attention to us anymore.
I
I
don't
love
give a
it.
fuck.
He's like, do they sound okay in my earphones? All right, I'm fine. Whatever. So Christmas.
Yeah. It's fun. Okay, I had a funny conversation with my wife the other day where we were ranting and raving about these. We're just basically bitching about our new neighbors because they're young and they like to party and all that stuff.
Ever since these people have moved in, you had one day, maybe two, where you're like, yeah, these young girls moved in next door. It's going to be cool. We feel young again. And ever since then, every story has been about them throwing parties. You were all upset that they threw a party and they hadn't unpacked yet.
Oh my God, it was annoying. It was a faux pas. I'm like, you haven't even, I mean, I guess it makes sense if you're going to throw a party, you haven't unpacked it because you have to clean anyway. But
What did they do recently?
nothing. They're just loud and fun. And like they're just so full of life. And I just realized finally that I'm like, I've often thought of myself as the Chevy Chase was a Clark Griswold character, but I'm not. I'm the Julia Louis-Dreyfus character.
I was gonna say, do you know you're not the star of your own TV show anymore?
I'm not.
Like that's over. It's their
done. Once
TV
you hit
show
30,
now.
it's done.
You are the angry neighbor of their cool
man.
TV show. Like
Was
that's
that-
what's going on.
It's true. My wife and I are that couple. It wasn't David Duchovny, was it?
No.
But it was Julia
He
Louis-Dreyfus.
looked.
Yeah.
Yes, that's for sure. Correct.
Yeah, we're those two people who are just constantly bitching and like everything has to be clean and perfect, and then the big icicle comes through and like stabs me in the eye, and I'm just like,
that was
fuck.
so good.
In
When
the sitcom
Clark
about-
puts the tree through the window while they're eating sushi, and they're like nice postmodern house.
I like when they come home and they're like, what caused this? Because the ice melted.
Yeah.
I like how in the 80s and 90s, eating sushi in movies was a universal sign
Look
for
at
these
these-
people are douchebags.
Yuppie
yeah.
douchebags.
I always remember my first real exposure was The Breakfast Club. I think she eats
Molly
Molly
Ringwald.
Yeah.
eats sushi for lunch, and I was like, that must have been so in 1985 when that film was filmed in 84, I guess, but it came out in 85. You'd assume that's pretty ahead of its time at that point.
Pretty much, I would imagine. Also very dangerous. Sushi doesn't keep overnight, so they must have had to either make that fresh or she's risking a really
That's
bad
you.
tummy ache.
That's you. You're the sushi eater now.
I love sushi.
You love
You're like Molly
Ringwald.
Ringwald.
Yeah, I do love Molly Ringwald. Oh my God. I had a huge crush on her back in the day. Still
Sure.
do.
Who didn't?
Still do. Because she was talented and funny
Sure.
and cute as hell. The bad haircut, though. Always the bad haircut.
At the time, it seemed like a fine haircut.
A lot of
No,
haircuts.
even
were
at
happening
that
in the
time,
80s.
you looked at that haircut and you were like, that is...
She can do better.
is a
Molly,
bad
you can
haircut.
do better than that.
She could have. But who am I? She's Molly Ringwald.
You don't have the cascading ringlets of an Elizabeth Shue. Get it together.
Don't even bring up Elizabeth Shue unless you want me to get lost in your eyes right now, because I fucking loved her. Although that was hilarious, like that whole
Maybe
part
that was
of
my
Back in
goal
Time
from
where she's
get
like,
go. Just to
Was
have
it?
you lost in my eyes.
No, I'm
Maybe
already
that's
there,
why I
buddy.
came here today.
I'm already there. Although it is sacrilege, I do feel that the original girlfriend in Back to the Future got the shaft on that one. Because I
Yeah.
actually liked her a lot.
Well, you know
you
what
know
her
what the
story
hu-
was, right? Her mom got sick, so she
Yeah,
quit
she
acting.
decided to stop. Yeah.
Do you know what the harshest
Unfortunate.
thing about that was? I think the harshest thing about that, probably from her perspective, is no one even noticed.
Right.
90% of the people you ask,
We
like,
noticed that horrible wig Elizabeth Shue was wearing the entire second and
yeah,
third movie.
but nobody knew why. They're just like, oh yeah, Elizabeth Shue. I wonder why she was wearing that wig in the second one. She didn't have it in the first one. Nobody remembers this other woman as being part of Back to the Future at all.
To be fair, it was a pretty big upgrade because she was a pretty big star back then.
Yeah.
I think she was like either had done or was on her way to doing Adventures in Babysitting, which made her put her on the map.
She
to be-
had done it.
She had
Remember,
done it.
there was lots of years between 1 and 2.
But imagine
That's a good
being
point.
retconned out of your own life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. But I thought that part was fascinating. Have you seen this? Back in Time?
No.
It's a documentary. They just talk a little bit about
Where can I get? Is
it's
it
on Netflix. Yeah.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fan made documentary, but they interviewed all the people that were major players like Zemeckis and
Cool.
Two
and some other
people retconned out of their own careers in that movie. Eric Stoltz and the original girlfriend.
and the dad. And
Well, he
what's
left of his
name?
own accord.
Oh, that's
Crispin
true.
Glover,
Crispin
but then
Glover, 'cause
they
he's weird.
kept using him against his. I'll never forget the Blu-rays I have out there have a different behind the scenes documentary that actually goes into the whole thing with Crispin Glover when they're like, blah, blah, and he was never in 2 or 3, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, and then they go through the whole thing of like, no, they cast this look-alike, sound-alike, and hung him upside down so no one would be able to tell, and,
got-
then he sued the shit out
out
of
of
them
them,
and
yep.
changed the rights for SAG. You're like,
Yeah.
holy fuck.
Isn't that crazy? But yeah, that whole thing was fascinating. I just love watching that, especially
Yeah.
since that is our youth. That's my childhood of like, that's how all this stuff happened.
Right,
It was cool.
right.
And just seeing the old Stoltz footage,
Yeah.
you're like, fuck.
I want them to
that
release
is
all
too
that. They talk about that
distinctively
once in a while that
different.
they'll do it
The
eventually.
creepiest thing in the world is the scene of Marty and Lorraine on Lorraine's bed in the beginning of the first Back to the Calvin Klein scene. When you watch that scene with Eric Stoltz, there is a weird sexual tension. Like Marty is feeling it too. Like, it's strange as hell. And you're like, of course they fired you, dude. You read this wrong.
You wanted to fuck your mom.
You wanted to fuck your mom. You were just like, what if we made this Oedipus, though? Like, what if we just went way Oedipal with this movie? No!
It's got to be hard, though, because it's not Stoltz's fault. That was Eric Stoltz. Like, he was that character in the 80s. Like,
Sure.
He was not really known for his comedic genius. So that was just poor casting.
Yeah, how much did they film with him before they were like
Almost
before they were
all
like
of it.
A lot. And it
so
was
the
a
whole
big
so they could
fucking
probably
deal.
they could probably edit together the movie.
They'll never do it.
But if they would release all the footage, a fan could like theoretically just replace all of the footage with Michael J.
It
Fox.
don't know if
depends
they
on how
filmed
much
that
of it
much of it.
survived
Yeah.
to make it onto a video format, because I can't imagine like the actual cut dailies of those films still exist anymore. I think the reason we've only seen
negative somewhere though.
Do you think so?
I guarantee. Yeah, and then they
hope
archive
so.
it all.
Wow.
They never did an answer print for it, but I guarantee they probably had the negative, and they probably have some dailies around. I mean, if you see the footage in scenes,
Like I've definitely seen some of the footage, but I don't know. I didn't know like so they like filmed the whole thing and then the studio was
it
like
wasn't the whole thing.
It was a lot. I want to say it was like a month or.
They did.
It was like 20 days of shooting. or
Yeah,
something
they did
crazy
like
that.
I want to say that somebody said they did like 75 to 80% of Marty's shots.
and then they were like, no.
which is
Yeah.
the whole movie. Like
Yeah.
he's in almost every shot of
That's
the
really
film, so.
that's really fascinating.
Which means
Crazy.
Christopher Lloyd had to do everything like twice.
Yeah,
I wonder if they all had to
Other
get paid
than
again and
singles.
stuff like that.
Oh no, I mean you have to, you get paid if you're an actor, you get paid based on your time that you're there. So it's a day rate for the most part.
What? This could be another topic for another day, but it's just
You can watch the documentary and we can all talk about it.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
should. It's fucking fascinating.
I just don't understand. Like,
But it was the right call.
yeah, it was,
That's
but it
the
must have been
problem.
such a daring call because they
They
probably had to
talk
go.
about it. They talk
Yeah.
about the whole thing of like them.
It paid off,
going
obviously.
through it. Yeah, of course.
Zemeckis comes off as not the most warm of human beings. Like, so I don't, but you can see that was like he's very political when he talked about it, but he was like, it was a hard call.
Yeah.
And you see behind his eyes, you're like, fuck, that must have been like, I can't imagine how many sleepless nights, because you're watching the film and you're like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
And then you come to the conclusion that it's not the score, which could be easily changed, the editing, which can, for all intents and purposes, be easily, all these things are hard, but they can be relatively changed
To
pretty
go
quickly.
to a studio, hat in hand, and be like, I know I've shot 75% of this. I need to shoot it all over again.
Yeah.
All over again.
And then telling your actors that who are family at that point,
Mm-hmm.
because you've got your leads who are like you gel when you're on a shoot like that, saying sorry, this guy that's been next to you for like the 20 some odd days has got to go, and we're gonna bring in Michael J. Fox. I mean, I'm sure they were like, oh well, Michael J. Fox is a huge star, and that's awesome. But even that story was hilarious because the reason they wanted him originally, but he couldn't get out of Family
Ties.
Ties,
yeah.
and so he had to shoot the movie at night. So he literally was like a teamster. I would wrap Family Ties, and a teamster would come pick me up and take me to the set, and then I would shoot all night, and then sleep for like 3 or 4 hours or whatever, and then go back to Family Ties. It's like I had no idea where I was at a certain point. But it's an iconic role for him, and
Wow.
you can't imagine anyone being that
it's crazy.
being in that position.
So that is Christmas.
Yay.
Sorry, I'm
Tim.
there.
Yes.
What's your topic?
All right. So, guys, a couple weeks back, I went to this place that I love very, very much called Disneyland.
Where is it?
It's in Anaheim, California.
Oh, it sounds fun.
Yes.
What
it's,
else
it's
is
a
in
great
Anaheim?
place. Portillo's?
It's close. Yeah.
Close enough. I went there too. So
The
that was really
Los
good.
Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
It was
whatever
good.
Is that still what they call them?
I don't know if they call them. They did for a long time. I
That was
don't
the
know.
lamest shit.
VidCon's there too. And every year we go, and you motherfuckers are like, oh, maybe this will be the year. No, it's not.
I
Tim.
tell you every year it won't be the year, and you let Nick string you along every time. But like on Sunday, we're
And you
gonna
string
stop
me the
there.
fuck along.
I just go like this, dude. We can just go.
It's right
We
there.
can just go. It's
and
right
I
there.
see it. I
And
can
then Kevin-
see the Ferris wheel.
Kevin sees my eyes that we're fucking with you, and he goes, dude, let's go. I'll go. I'm there right now in spirit.
So it's some bullshit. So I haven't been to Disneyland for 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
which is not acceptable. I've been there at least once a year since I was 18. That's not true at all. I'm making things up. This was like the 5th time I've been there since I'm 18.
But you
I've
love
had a lot
Disney.
of good adventures. I love Disney. I specifically love Disneyland, and I want to go with all you motherfuckers one day.
Well, what
You
was
included.
Do you Disney bound while you're there? Do you dress as a character,
No,
but
no, no,
casually dress as a character?
Disney
Just
bound?
like-
Disney bounding. Have you heard about
No.
this? This is where you don't go full cosplay, but you choose an outfit from your wardrobe that is indicative of a character.
So like a
at
shirt
Disney.
and no pants. Got it.
Yeah. Just red shorts. If you went in just red shorts, you'd be Disney bounded.
Red and suspenders.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't get the reference. What's the shirt with no pants?
Donald
Like,
Duck.
Donald Duck.
oh, okay,
Like a
Yeah,
sailor
don't-
shirt.
Maybe don't do that around
A
kids.
pantsless sailor.
I have to watch them. They have to watch me.
But so you're a huge
They're at eye
Disneyland
level.
fan?
I am,
Are you
yes.
a Disney in general fan or just
Both.
Disneyland?
Both, but
Okay.
specifically Disneyland.
Because my wife is one of these people. I'm
Good.
not, but my wife
Okay,
is.
okay. Twitter messaged you a couple days ago, and I
you?
was like, "What are your feelings on Disneyland?"
Oh.
And you never responded to me. But I said, "I don't give a fuck
fucking dick.
what they are then, because we're just going to talk about this
Oh,
shit."
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I missed it.
No,
I
it's fine.
genuinely am.
Big time internet celebrity
So
now.
my
my thing
what was
is-
fascinating about this is I talked to you. I was like, how much could it possibly have changed between the last time I was there like 6 years ago and now? And you were like, oh, don't forget Star Wars.
Yeah, no,
And
there's
Marvel.
a million,
And
bazillion
Marvel, and I was
changes.
like,
So,
oh,
I mean,
right,
6 years
duh.
is a fucking lifetime at Disneyland. So I've been holding on to this.
Disney characters
topic.
only live for 6 years. The Mickey Mouse you knew as a
the
child
cycle. The
is
cycle.
dead.
Let It Go will be going for fucking like at least 30 more years. But besides that, everything is a cycle. So I've been having to hold on to this topic because there's been no situation I could talk about it adequately. Even now's not even perfect. But it was just going to be me and these two chuckleheads talking about Disneyland. And I'm like,
a boy and two men.
I just can't do that. I can't do it. I
mean,
can't just put this shit out there. My excitement. It was one of the most exciting weekends of my life, Nick.
I mean, I grew up not far from Anaheim, so I've been to Disneyland a number of times. I have friends that have gone into work there. I've got, I've been to Disneyland quite a few times. I've never been crazy excited about it though, and it's because I used to be really fat and lazy. And to a fat and lazy kid, Disneyland is hell. It is fucking hell because you are constantly waiting in hot lines. You are having to walk everywhere, and then maybe you get a churro, but then even then your mom's like, no, it's too expensive. You can't have the third churro. And I'm like, but I want a third churro.
So you did
'cause I'm
Disneyland
fat
wrong.
and lazy.
We all
For
want the
many,
third
many,
churro.
many reasons. One, you need to go to Disneyland as an adult so you can buy your own churros, as many as you fucking please.
No one
like
can
Kevin
stop you.
did. And Kevin did
You're
that
a grown
very
ass
well.
man.
How many churros did you have at Disneyland, Kevin? There's 4 in your hand right now. Jesus Christ.
Kevin got a lot of
Kevin, you're gonna
churros.
die. He's not gonna be with us forever, Greg.
One bouquet of churros, please.
Jesus, Kevin.
So the story
How many
goes
churros? How many
back.
churros you got back there? I'll take them.
I'll take it.
Fill this
Sure, I
backpack
said,
with them.
This
I said
entire
300.
Sir, this entire cart is filled with churros. Yes.
Yeah.
How much to just wheel the cart off?
One cart, please. One cart.
I'll leave a
of churros.
deposit and bring the cart back.
I'm gonna give you $20 to just follow me around the park.
Well, that'd be amazing if you had your own churro valet. That'd be awesome.
So tell me about your Disneyland
Okay, so
experience.
this all started at VidCon last year, or I guess this year. The last VidCon.
Did you go on the official VidCon
No,
Disneyland
because
day?
these motherfuckers won't let me.
Okay.
So
We gotta get home and make content.
we did a meet and greet,
Gotta get back to the content.
courtesy of Greg
mines.
Miller. Greg meet and greet Miller
Portillo's?
over at Portillo's.
Yeah, we did.
And I met this lovely boy named David. Now David,
Is
one
he
of
one of the big beautiful kids?
the big beautiful kids, one of the best friends. I love him very dearly because him and his wife have been working at Disneyland for like 10 years now together. And I'm like, I like you guys. We had a great conversation about stuff. And he's like, if you ever want to get into Disneyland. So here, I wait a month for you to get here, Nick, and then you leave me.
I have to pee.
I'm interested in this story. though.
Okay.
Listening, I'll leave the door open.
Thank you.
Okay.
Leave the door open, Nick.
So,
Wait,
More.
so this is like one of those revolving door podcasts? Can I like run and get a snack?
no, you can do
Sure,
whatever you
yeah,
need to
yeah.
do.
Oh, that's great.
I've never once gotten up during this show.
Would you like a kale salad? No, I'm good. I'll hang.
We have deep dish pizza too if you want that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that a little bit.
There's 2.
Could you give me a coffee?
Yeah, as long as you're up. Do you have any hot towels? A hot towel would really be
Just
super
put a towel
nice
on the
right
back
now.
of Kevin's neck for 90 seconds. You can have a nice moist hot towel.
God.
Dude, at our meet and greet, just as a quick aside while we wait for Nick to get back for the rest of Tim's story, to talk to Kevin, I put my hand on the back of his neck, and then I was like, oh, and then I went to wipe it on his shirt, and I was like, oh!
His shirt was made of sponge material. He was soaking wet. You
You
were
are
running
working
around
hard.
that place like a
But even when you're
maniac.
not working hard, you're sweating.
You're just fucking sweating.
I feel you, man, because like I was saying earlier, no matter what I'm doing, I guarantee there's a pit stain on my left pit.
Just the left one?
Left one sweats easier and faster. I don't know why. Maybe because it's dominant hand. I'm doing more. It has something to do with my posture. I
You're
don't
working
know.
them muscles, yeah.
Who knows?
Huh.
I don't know. Left pit, usually stained. Anyway,
It just dawned on me too. Nick, this is not how long peas take.
what's going on?
Nick, you having a poop?
Nick, did you get in there and realize it was more than you bargained for?
Nikki, I hear some slapping noises.
Huh?
I hear some slapping noises. I don't like it.
If you have to go rub one out just to focus, I understand that. Wow.
If you couldn't hear that, then Nick said he thought that he could rub one out and get 1 million views. He'd do it on camera. He's talking to you. I'm pretty sure that people can hear you.
All right, let's
Yeah,
continue.
course we're
Let's
still
continue.
we're still rolling. So at this VidCon meet and greet,
You meet a couple.
yes, I meet a couple amazing people. They're telling me about their romantic Disneyland story, and then they're like, "If you ever need to get into Disneyland, let us know. We'll get you in." And I'm like, "I'm all about that." Tried convincing you motherfuckers to go that next day. You're like, "No," and I'm like, "All right, fine. I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna remember you." So I got his email. Now, flash forward to a couple weeks ago, and my girlfriend is coming to visit. Right, have that plan. Kevin hasn't been to Disneyland since he was like 4 and 7. And he was scared of everything. He was on Indiana Jones, didn't even open his eyes.
Pirates of the Caribbean got you too, got me too.
He was a scared little Kevin. He wasn't quite as round then. He was really tiny though. So there's that. Then two of my best friends, James, Missy, this couple in love with Disneyland. And they are the second reason that you're doing Disneyland wrong, Nick. You need to go with them.
Okay.
Because they are just like, you know when you go somewhere and you have to pay for like a tour guide and they'll take you to all the places you need to go and like skip all the lines because they know everything? That's them for Disneyland. And you can hit everything. You avoid all the lines. They have this fast pass
I was
system.
gonna say, you got the fast pass, you got the bracelets I see.
There's also
That's Disney
something.
World.
There's also something like wonderful about going. It's like going to a movie that you don't think you're gonna like with somebody who's a huge fan of whatever that movie
Yes.
is, and all of a sudden, because you're around that much positive energy, you're like, oh, I like this movie more than I thought I did.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, oh, I'm really into this. Going to Disneyland with somebody who genuinely feels whatever Disney magic that you are not attuned to, you know? Because I grew up in Orlando. I hate Disney usually because Disney World was just like where you worked in high school, you know? So I had this thing where like I couldn't love Disney World. Going to Disneyland with my wife because she loves it is just like, it's like going with fucking Tinkerbell.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah,
It's
no, I
like
get that. I
Tinkerbell's
dream
just
of
like
that.
flying you around just like, and look, it's the world's largest treehouse and you can go in it. Oh, we'll wear mouse ears and we'll ride in a boat. And you're just like,
Jungle
shit, this
Cruise
sounds great.
is the best ride. Have you been on Jungle Cruise?
Of course I've been on Jungle
Jungle
Cruise.
Cruise is the best thing in the entire world. There's just these freaking tour guides, and the entire thing is just a bunch of the worst puns in the world. And it's
I
the
went
best.
on Jungle Cruise with a bunch of the StarWars.com team and Scott Bromley, and we all screamed at the conductor of the Jungle Cruise until they let Scott Bromley run the Jungle Cruise.
I saw vines of
You
this.
want to know a man who was born to do something? The comedy button Scott Bromley was born to be a Jungle Cruise
He
operator.
that makes so
He needs to
much
quit
sense.
every job, give up everything he's ever done, because that man is just a fountain of dad jokes.
Yeah.
Just an unending fountain of dad, and it was the most amazing thing I've ever done.
I don't think they get paid that much though.
No, and
The
he needs to
old-
take that pay cut
I
and
was
live
gonna
his
say,
dream.
it's-
Artists
80%
suffer for their art. Artists suffer for their art.
That's what you do.
Not me.
It's worth it.
So you're going around with this couple that knows
So
all
I'm going
the
around
ins
with this
and outs.
couple, and they have an annual pass, and they're from San Francisco, and they go like once a month. So they drive down there
Jesus.
once a month and do the shit. They're hard fucking core about this
Love
stuff.
it.
I love Disneyland, but I don't need to go that often. So I try to hold off, and then I'll go with them, do it right, do it big, bounce out. So now I'm like, we've been planning this thing with Kevin and his girlfriend Paula for a long time because she's been before, but she's never done it right. She's one of these people who are like, it's Disneyland, it's not that cool. She doesn't fucking know anything. So I'm like, we're fucking hitting this hard. My girlfriend, not the biggest fan of Disneyland. So it's like, we're going with a bunch of party poopers.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I knew, because what you're saying, I'm like, they'll believe. They'll fucking believe. We're going to make them feel good about this. It's going to be awesome. And it was the best goddamn weekend of my life. Because we get there, we hit everything right. We went on every fucking ride. We didn't wait in hardly any lines. Like, it was just like, we just fast pass, whatever. The girlfriends run into another thing to get fast passes for the groups for the next ride. And it's like, it was like a well-oiled
so explain the
machine.
fast pass to me. You run and check in and you get fast.
Yes, the fast passes is there's like a machine thingy that you can like scan your ticket on, and then it'll print you this little like other ticket that's like, come back between this time and this time. You can go into a separate line for this ride.
Gotcha.
But you're only allowed to get a certain amount of those fast passes per hour
Gotcha.
or whatever. So there is a really nice strategy to like being able to hit everything if
Gotcha.
you just fucking play this right. And you have runners. You need to have runners. That's
See,
it.
this sounds like way too much effort.
Thank you.
But that's the thing.
Way
Same-
too
We
much
didn't
effort.
need to do that.
When you're with somebody who knows the ins and outs of it, it's not effort. It's just it's ingrained into their head.
Exactly.
And
So
so
they're
they just
they're
go
taking
do
us
it.
through this thing, and we had this nice casual stroll just from one thing to the next thing.
You'll
Yeah,
never even know the runner's doing it.
exactly.
You'll never even know. Just you get out of a ride and you're like, oh my God, Monsters Inc. is so cute. And then somebody hands you a sheet of paper that's like, congratulations, you have a golden ticket to another fucking amazing time.
Exactly.
All right.
And then you go and you do it.
And in addition to that, then we get to each ride, and they know the best seat on every single ride. So they're going up and talking to the cast member, as they're called at Disneyland. And they're like, hey, we want the back seat for this ride. We want the front seat for that ride. We want these guys in this seat and all this stuff. I'm like, my God. This is fucking perfect. So it was amazing, and we were just like having this whole time. I had a whole Snapchat story, and people got to see the day as it went on in my life. The biggest change and update since the last time I was there is Star Wars.
Yeah.
Now Tomorrowland
was season of the Force happening?
So we went there the first weekend that it came out, and I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Have you seen this yet?
I haven't been. My wife is literally sending me pictures from Season of the Force today. She's there, and I'm just like,
God
son
bless.
of a.
So
Thanks,
Season of the
PlayStation.
Force
Ah!
is everything that Colin hates in one beautiful, beautiful little area.
General Grievous is there.
He's just, actually, all they have is General Grievous. All they have are 10 different General
It's
Grievuses.
just him and Jango Fett
Yeah.
just hanging out together.
It's
Jango Fettland.
they took over Tomorrowland.
Fettland. God, that's a fucking nightmare.
Tomorrowland is just mini Star Wars Land. They're working on Star Wars Land. So what's happening is we knew we had to go this weekend, this November 21st weekend, because it was the first weekend of the Star Wars shit, and it was the last weekend that was not blocked out because of like Christmas and holidays and all that stuff. Because on January 10th, they're getting rid of Disneyland. Disneyland is going to shit for the next 2 years because they're building Star Wars Land. They're getting rid
Where
of
are they-
fucking
are-
Fantasmic.
Oh, so they're actually demolishing. They're not actually adding to the park. They're demolishing,
They're-
like, demoing parts of the park. To
They're
build new
demoing
rides.
and adding to it behind
Yeah.
in that like what I'm
a
blanking on the name.
major
Behind
part,
Fantasmic.
yeah, a
the little
major
island.
part of like Tomorrowland, and then like
Really?
a
Yeah.
bunch of parts of like some of the other like the Fairy Tale Land and stuff like that. Like anything that borders on where Star Wars Land is going to be it's going to be a bad time.
Eminent domain.
Yeah, the Empire is coming in.
The Empire is fucking coming. Yeah.
So wait, are they going
Darth Vader's got
to
sledgehammer.
do away with Treasure Island?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. I
That's
used to
a
make out
bummer,
with
man.
so many girls.
That's
on
the
that place,
makeout
man.
island, dude.
Yeah. No.
That's the spot.
So Makeout Island is probably still going to exist.
Don't do that in Winkeby again.
Yeah.
Dude.
Good lord.
Now to be Tatooine.
Let me tell you something. You go to Disney World when you're like 14, 15, and you're like, maybe you're tripping, maybe you're doing whatever. It doesn't matter. But
on
you go,
cocaine.
the first thing you head to is Tom Sawyer Island. Because you're probably there with like a bunch of other horny teens.
Yeah.
And you go into Injun Joe's cave, which is like, that's a terrible thing to still have something named. You go into Injun Joe's cave and you make out by the giant fake crystals and you sit there for like 2 hours.
And just
And
think
that's
about what you did.
That's what you do at Disneyland.
So I don't think they're getting rid of that.
Okay.
Because they need that
Because
for
think of the
Fantasmic.
children.
And
I mean,
there's a lot of
they-
14-year-old
a
big
lot of-
beautiful kids out
Yeah,
there.
those big, beautiful, unprotected children have to penetrate each other. I used to do.
In Injun
I used to
Joe's
do that.
cave.
I was a big fan of making out at the Haunted Mansion, by the way, because that's when it was spooky and they were a little scared.
All right. So
You
let's
could be a-
add
you could be
back to my
macho.
story.
Yeah.
Freaking it's wintertime. So we get the Nightmare Before Christmas Haunted Mansion, which I've never been on.
That's
And
awesome.
I'm
Was it
like,
cool?
This is it's fucking awesome. And it's like they just Disneyland. They're like, hey Tim, we heard you were coming. We're just gonna fucking make this perfect. No rides were closed, which is blasphemy. I've never been to Disneyland where they're not like, oh, Splash Mountain's closed. Sorry, it's under renovation, whatever. Everything was fucking open because they're closing everything for Star Wars Land. The Aladdin show, Nick, it's gone forever.
The Aladdin show is gone forever.
It's just fucking, it's gone.
Can I tell you?
The news was so big,
Yeah.
Nick couldn't process it. He had to say
It's
it again.
upsetting.
What's
man.
amazing is I
He's
thought he
never
was
seen
joking
it.
with me. I have no idea there's an
No,
Aladdin
because it's
show.
in
No
the
fucking idea.
California Adventure. They're replacing it with Frozen because Frozen is taking the fuck over.
Yeah.
Frozen's the one thing besides Star Wars that there's just even more.
If you go
of.
to Epcot Center now, which is like they have the World Pavilion, which like every country has a ride about like the history of that country. They fucking demolished Norway and turned it into Frozen. They're like, yeah, Norway is where Frozen comes from. All the rest of the rides are still educational.
Yeah.
But Norway is just like, and that's when the ice princess got her magical powers. Anyway, Norway, am I right? Socialism and ice princesses. We'll see you later.
Yeah. So they're getting rid of the Aladdin show, which is amazing, and they have this genie that does like improv comedy, who I'm trying to get to host Kind of Funny live too. We'll see how that goes. But
Did you actually talk to him?
No,
Is it an actual
absolutely
genie?
not. But no, he's a thing. Like everybody, if you've been there, like you know this guy.
I mean, I know who the genie is.
Yes,
Robin
but
Williams.
oh my
R.I.P..
god, but the guy is so fucking funny, and like in the show, he does all this improv comedy based on like modern shit.
Can he
what's
come
going
as the
on now.
genie? Probably not.
Is it still improv or is he these bits he's rehearsed?
It's
I don't know why.
well, it's like it's a mix. They change shit up. I'm sure it's like rehearsed stuff, but like there's bits and lines that they change up. They're making Patriots jokes and like shit like that went over my head, but people thought they were funny.
Fuck the Patriots.
That's what he says.
Boy, that's exactly what the genie said, actually.
Vulgar.
Yeah. So they're replacing that with Frozen, which is very upsetting, but they're moving the Aladdin show to a Disney
Tom
cruise. Whatever. We got to see it for one of the last times before January 10th, and it was fucking amazing as always. Then we continue all this stuff. Let's go back to Season of the Force, Tomorrowland, right? Holy shit. You can't walk anywhere without hearing Star Wars music playing. And I'm like, this is just fucking heaven.
Love it.
This is the best. I just keep looking at Kevin, and Kevin is just sweating like happiness.
Just
like just
stormtroopers.
tears of
And-
happiness coming
and
out of
sweat.
him. And just sweat.
Stormtroopers run around in the streets and just like fuck with people. Because
Yeah.
Oh, these.
stormtroopers are talking characters. Very few characters are allowed to speak, but because the stormtrooper helmets make everybody's voice sound like canon stormtroopers, they're allowed to talk and they just fuck with people. And it's amazing.
It's amazing. They're in character. It's so good.
Did
so
you
good.
tell any of them like these aren't the droids you're looking for?
No,
And
no,
they're like,
we were running around. We were doing things, Greg.
They'll
we were
play
on a
along
goddamn
with that
mission.
though. If you do shit
Oh,
like
sure.
that, that's the beautiful thing about Disney is you can do things like that and they play along.
So, Season of the Force, the biggest thing, they took Space Mountain and made it Hyperspace Mountain.
Sweet.
Now you go, all right, Space Mountain. Is that my favorite ride
Hyperspace
at
Mountain is when
Disneyland?
they get
Yeah.
rid of the safety bars and they run it at double speed.
So
Get
it is
ready,
faster.
America.
It is faster, but instead of it just being like the countdown and the music playing. So, Colin, if you don't know what Space Mountain is, it's a roller coaster.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't fucking know. I don't know your history.
I've been to Disney World and Disneyland more than anyone in this room. Just wanted to throw that out
Good.
there, and then I'm just gonna push my microphone away. That's not really true. I always bust your balls. I've been to Disney World probably like 8 times, and I've been to Disneyland a couple times. So
I don't know what Space Mountain is.
I know.
Okay.
It's,
I mean, I
Space
know
Mountain,
what it is.
For
I've
the
heard the name.
uninitiated, Space Mountain is
I didn't know
a
if you were
mountain
fucking with me or not.
where I wasn't sure. I didn't remember that. But there's a roller coaster indoors, and they turn off all the lights, and there's like stars everywhere, so it looks like you're just flying in space.
And really
There's
groovy music
There's
plays.
music playing. And
Yeah,
then
that
sometimes they
60s
do
like
like
60s synthesizer space music is playing
Yeah.
the whole
Lost in
time.
space shit.
exactly. Yep.
Going on
So
an adventure.
And it was made in the 60s when roller coaster technology was more about giving you whiplash than doing loops and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just constantly like listing you from side to
Yeah.
side
Yeah.
and like doing little drops to like keep the G-force up so you're just constantly crunched into
It's
your
it's
own
actually
rib
not-
cage.
not fun
What
at
a
all.
great experience.
It's amazing. So that is amazing, and it's my favorite ride hands down at Disneyland. So like, all right, we're gonna make it even better. It's gonna be Star Wars themed. So the entire line, it's all this like Star Wars shit playing. See Admiral Akbar fucking doing all this shit and stuff, and it's cool. Then you get
Does
on
he say it's a trap?
in the ride. He does. So you're going up, and then you know the part of the roller coaster, Greg, where you go
The scariest part.
before
The
you go down.
anticipation, I
You're
hate
going up,
Oh,
and
it's the
you're in
best.
this fucking tube of TV screens, but it's like you just looks like you're in a tube, right? And they're playing shit, and you're just in space, and you're going up, and there's the Star Wars theme music starts playing, and everyone has chills, and everyone's looking at each other. There's goosebumps everywhere. Like, holy shit, this is awesome. Then you're going up, and all of a sudden it goes into fucking hyperspace, and you go, and then Star Wars music keeps playing. You drop into space. There's TV screens everywhere, but it's all like black, so it looks like you're in space. And there's fucking X-Wings and TIE fighters, and they're shooting lasers everywhere. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, this is the best.
This does
sounds
sound
cool.
awesome.
It's amazing.
This
YouTube
sounds
videos
awesome.
of it. Look up Hyperspace Mountain. It is incredible. It is unbelievably incredible. And then you just go through it, and it's longer than Space Mountain. It's like, oh, cool, even more. And then you fucking end.
Wait,
you beat the
how the
Empire.
physics of that
Spoilers.
work? How is it faster than Space Mountain normally, but also take longer? That's impossible.
No,
You're- no.
No. So
No.
there's different. They
That's
speed
not
up
how
and slow down.
space-time works.
The beginning is slower, so that it lasts longer.
So by longer, you mean the most boring part of a
but it's
roller
not.
coaster?
But it's not boring. It's not boring when you're in a tube of Star Wars.
Okay.
Trust me.
All right.
It's amazing. So then you finish that ride, and you're like, all right, what else am I gonna do? And then you're like, I guess I'm gonna go to Star Tours. If you don't know what Star Tours is, Greg,
don't.
it's one of those like
That's a great ride.
a
That's a
40
phenomenal
type
ride.
thing where you get in a thing and the ship moves.
Yeah,
and
it's a
stuff, and
simulator
whole bunch of
ride. The
theater
cart's
thing.
moving. You're watching
Okay.
a projected
Yeah, it's
movie.
awesome.
And they added a whole Force Awakens bit that's guaranteed. It's a randomized thing. So you
Kylo
get 3
Loren
different
comes up?
Kylo Loren does not
Hi,
show
I'm
up.
Kylo Loren, everybody. I wanted to thank you for coming.
Kylo
out
Loren.
tonight.
I am French
I'm
Jedi
dating
actor
Demi Lovato.
Kylo Loren.
I hope you all welcome my good friend Watto.
Welcome to my foyer.
But my boy BB-8 comes through and he meets R2-D2 and there's this moment that's like, I like this. I like
Yeah.
everything about this.
They
so
kiss?
then they do kiss. So then you leave
Slow,
Star Tours.
real slow.
And then they go to the Captain EO theater, which if you don't know what Captain EO is, do you know what Captain
I don't know
EO
what
is?
Captain EO
Captain
is.
EO, the ending and the destruction of Captain EO is one of the greatest travesties in the history of mankind. Captain EO was
So
directed
good.
by Francis Ford Coppola.
I know his daughter makes wine.
You sit, yes, the winemaker. They gave him a movie camera and Michael Jackson in the early 80s, and they said, we're going to make a movie with ILM about Michael Jackson, starship captain in space.
Greenlit, go.
Go. That's the entire Captain EO 3D experience. It's a 3D movie where Starship Captain Michael Jackson saves space with the power of rhythm.
I like it.
It's really good.
It's
actually.
so good.
It's fucking amazing.
They got rid of it around the time of all that, child stuff.
Well, he had a lot of.
But then they brought it back when he died. So it's been there the last couple of years. But then now they take it away whenever there's Marvel movies and stuff. They'll make like special trailers for it. So now, even though there's Marvel movies, something more important, there's Star Wars movies. So there's a thing called Path of the Jedi, which all it is a 10-minute trailer for The Force Awakens that just is it's essentially a recap of all the other Star Wars movies if you just took all of them and made a 10-minute trailer out of it.
That sounds awesome.
And add 40 effects and fucking light and shit. Oh my God, Nick. You would just.
That sounds awesome.
It's so
Did
good.
you buy
Because
a
it builds
drink?
up. You get the 6 movies and it just goes black for a second. And obviously you just hear that piano key. Who are you?
Who are you?
Oh my God.
Nobody. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm Nick. 41K Twitter followers. No big deal. Nick
you get
_
a-
on Twitter.
Did you get a drink out of a BB-8?
Well, so then after this amazing experience, you obviously go to Pizza Port, the restaurant, and you go and you can get all these things. You get a fucking BB-8 cup. So yeah. There's
Cool.
a couple of those in our shit. It was fucking awesome. And then there was pizza.
That didn't sound like an enthusiastic or serious.
Well, he looked at me for more. I'm like, I'm in it.
No,
I'm
it's cool.
I'm following
It's great.
along
Okay.
so far.
So then we're doing all this other stuff.
What's Pizza Port? That sounds like the most
It's a
interesting one so
future
far.
pizza place
Yeah,
from
it's
the
like
future.
the Toy Story pizza place.
I thought that's right. Do they have the claw machine and the guys?
I mean, all
Because
of
they
it.
all go
It's-
crawl.
Well, now
right?
things are Star Wars themed, so it's
So
special.
they go, Kylo Loren.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's this thing
Hello,
where you can
it
meet
is
Darth
I.
Vader.
Kylo Loren.
Pizza chef Kylo Loren. Please enjoy your pizza pie.
Me, I recommend the Millennium Falcon special.
It's a great name for a pizza.
Then there's this building you can go
Mushrooms.
into, and you can buy a bunch of Star Wars shit, obviously. And then there's you can meet Darth Vader, you can meet Chewbacca. They have a whole
wait
bunch
out.
of the like actual suits from the movies, like all the various movies and props and all that stuff. Then they remade the Cantina Bar, which is fucking awesome.
Does the
You can
song
take
play on
pictures
loop?
there. Oh yeah.
Figuring
yeah.
Dan
So it's great.
and the modal nodes playing some jizz music for you.
They're doing it. They're doing it, and they're doing it well. And then after that,
Jizz music.
we just went about all the normal Disneyland stuff, right?
His music.
That's the official
what it's
name for
called.
it. Yeah,
Is it really?
yeah. They
Instead
don't
of
really
jazz?
they don't really say it anymore. There are things that but like in 1977, jizz wasn't slang. Like it just wasn't. So what's jazz music in the future? Oh, it's jizz because it's from space.
Got it.
Jizz music.
Now they call it WAD music.
Yeah. I am Kylo Loren. Welcome to my jizz music emporium.
I think they renamed it Sperm Music. They thought that
Sperm
would
music.
be better.
They're like,
yeah.
it's a little more PC. A little more PC.
To speed this up, because I know we're running out of
Oh,
time.
you're doing
here.
great.
There's
having a
a
good
there's a
time.
couple things because there's a whole bunch of rides that I'd love to wax poetic about. Maybe at some point I'll make a single video where I'm just fucking talking for an hour.
Where do you stand on It's a Small World?
Oh, worst ride of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was just.
So
I mean,
we're
it
on
was-
different sides of the
You
table.
remember
on
Pirates
this
of the
one.
Caribbean, though?
Now I do want. That was the one ride that we had to wait in line for.
Okay.
That's why you
So,
hate it. See,
there
you're,
was
you're
that.
bringing in your own personal bias.
And actually, this was the first time I ever rode on it, and
Okay.
I was just not impressed.
No, it's not impressive
There's nothing
anymore.
impressive
Yeah.
about it.
It's a window into the 60s. That's one of the things that I like the most about Disneyland as opposed to like Disney World is I went to Disneyland for the first time a couple years ago and it is a window into 1960s America. It was built then. It looks like it was built then. It's like somebody saw Disney World and was like, I want to build that in my backyard with the money that I have lying around. It has this like quaint like Saturday Evening Post magazine cover
A
quality.
Norman
to it.
Rockwell painting. come to
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
Of our robotic presidents walking down the street.
Abe Lincoln, robot.
Is Hall of Presidents still a thing?
A Hall of
Disney World?
Presidents is in Disney World.
Right.
And then
They have
then
a Lincoln.
yeah,
thing.
Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln is the one in Disneyland.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Disneyland, besides the rides and all that stuff, what it's really known for is its shows. So there's a whole bunch of different shows. There's Fantasmic, which is this amazing thing where Mickey fights a dragon. It's the fucking best thing in the entire world.
But they're ending that, you said.
They're ending it for 2 years.
Gotcha.
Until they're done with Star Wars line.
Okay.
And
It
then
goes
they'll
into
bring
the
that back.
Disney
They'll
vault.
never. Yeah, it's going into the vault. Yeah. They'll never get rid of Fantasmic though. That's classic. So the other shows are World of Color, which is this amazing thing in California Adventure where they shoot water into the air and then project video onto the water.
And they sing
then
this
there's, like,
song that
colors and
sounds like
stuff.
it's from like Mr. Toad era Disney. Like everything, like these fountains come up and they start projecting colors onto the fountains, and this like 60s lady choir is like, "The world is a symphony of color."
You fucking nailed that. So what was cool about this, I've seen World of Color a bazillion times at this point, and this one is it's the 60th anniversary, so they have a new thing, and Neil Patrick Harris is like leading the whole thing, and it's kind of weird, but like I was into it. It's not as good as the first World of Color for sure, but first time I saw it, so I'm like, that's cool. And for the first time ever, they did 2 World of Color shows where they also did the Winter Dreams like holiday spectacular, where they did Feliz Navidad, and Kevin got all excited just because he's Kevin. And it was great. It was a lot of fun. They had the Star Wars bit, so I'm hearing Star Wars music. They're fucking flames everywhere because now it's like World of Color. It can't just be water.
No.
There's fucking fire.
Some of the fountains are fire, and the first time that happens, it surprises the hell out of you because fire doesn't come out of ponds.
You're like
Like, that's not a thing.
something's gone wrong. We need to evacuate the world
All
of
of the
color.
elements have gone topsy-turvy. The world of color has been compromised.
I mean, it's amazing though. Like the Star Wars bit is like it's the most impressive thing ever. Where there's shooting up these walls of water like 100 feet high, shooting projecting Star Wars scenes on it, shooting lasers and shit, and then fire starts shooting up, and then from the viewing area there's this like
And then
there's
rocks.
a bunch of,
They just start throwing rocks at people.
No, there's a bunch of
All of the
grass,
elements are present.
grass and dirt, and they start shooting up like it looks like things are exploding into the crowd, and like dirt things will just fucking fly up.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
My boy Qui-Gon Jinn show up?
No, he didn't get the memo.
Gotcha.
He didn't show up.
I would like to introduce you to my friend Qui-Gon Jinn.
Thank you, Kylo Ren.
As you know, I am Kylo Ren.
Then the last show is the fireworks, which are amazing, and they had a new 60th anniversary show, and so they the fireworks it's the main show, so they're like, let's take a little bit of everything and just put it together. So now there's the castle, and they're playing all the music, and everything's epic and fucking fireworks, which is great, and they have the best fireworks in the entire world. But then now they add shit where it's like Tinkerbell fucking flies over the castle,
Yeah.
so there's just like this.
Is it a human being?
Tightrope.
It
Yeah, it's
is.
a human being
Yeah.
in this light up suit, and she's just fucking flying around.
Here's
the
a fun
best.
fact. If you live in Orlando, Florida, and you're an actor, one of the only union acting jobs is Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell is a union job because you can see her face. She works every day, so she has to be an employee, and she gets stunt and hazard pay. The highest paid actor in Orlando, Florida at any time is the girl who plays Tinkerbell at Disney World.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a Dumbo. Sometimes there's a Nemo.
Sometimes there's a Dumbo. I mean, it depends. If you got like a really hot Dumbo,
Is it a real elephant?
like
It is. It'll make you believe it can fly. It's crazy.
you got a Dumbo that's really owning the part. Mm-hmm. Maybe that guy makes a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
The Tink. So what
Maybe
they're
there's
doing
a
now that's
rivalry.
different is if there's some Main Street is like the street that kind of leads down
Main
to the
Street
castle.
USA.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Smells like cookies.
So now they project things. They've learned about the projection from the water stuff they've been doing for years.
sure.
So now they project things onto the castle. So it's like you'll see scenes from the movies and shit on the castle. But then they start changing the castle. So it's the Sleeping Beauty castle. And then they're like, well, what if we wanted to make it the Frozen castle? So they just fucking project it and all of a sudden it's a different goddamn castle. And I'm like, this is insane. There's a scene where it's just flipping through all the goddamn castles. I'm very impressed, Greg.
I
very
can tell.
impressed. Then Let It Go starts playing, and then fucking fake snow starts falling from everywhere.
Now that's impossible.
Ah, but they did it. They fucking
Kevin,
did it. They found a way.
I don't even have to ask the question, so I'll jump right to the point. What did it taste like? Don't act like you didn't put out your tongue and eat it. What did it taste? Oh, okay.
It gave everyone chemical burns when it landed on them. It's fake snow.
It's white. It's white phosphorus.
Yeah.
But so they wanted
It looks
to make
beautiful
sure
in the projected light, but it will burn a child.
they wanted to make sure that no matter where you were, it was a cool experience. So the entire thing of Main Street, they project onto all of the buildings different shit. So it's like there's this whole thing going on. I'm like, good lord, these guys. It's like I'm in a fucking music video right now. And it's everything I've ever asked for or wanted.
That's
And
awesome.
It's perfect. Then there's a thing called Paint the Night, which is a parade where everyone's just in neon lights and shit. You should also YouTube that. Very impressive. Now,
Paint the Night was a syndicated television series that was mostly known for being on USA in the 90s about sexy detectives.
What?
yeah, now they made it into a parade.
No, but doesn't it sound like it was?
That was amazing. It does.
Yeah.
It came on right
I was
after
honestly like, I think I've
Stockings.
seen that.
One of them, after Silk Stockings, it was Paint the Night, and one was a detective and one was an art dealer, and they solved sexy art murders.
Did you ever watch the Red
Paint
Shoe
the Night.
Diaries?
I remember the Red Shoe Diaries, yeah.
David Duchovny's finest work.
To end this story,
Yeah.
Is Paint the
the
Night
most
what we
important
guessed?
thing. I mean, it's kind of close.
Were we close?
yeah.
You're in the
That was
ballpark.
there,
You're in the
though.
ballpark of what it is.
Walking down Main Street Disneyland, you see detectives solving a crime.
Sexy
What the fuck is
detectives.
The most important
Solving
thing that
sexy
happened in this
crimes.
entire trip was where we went to dinner. Now,
Oh.
there's this thing called Club 33.
Yep.
Right.
I've mentioned it on the show before about how I want to go there. It's a really big deal. You can't get in no matter what. The only way to go there is if you pay this ridiculous fee. Where, I mean, it's like $1,000. You have to wait
Gotta
on
be
a
that
waiting list
D20 silver
for like
member.
100 years and all this fucking shit. And then eventually you can gain access to pay to get in and all this stuff. Everyone wants to go. No one can get in,
Gotcha.
including me. And
Oh.
I'm very upset about this. Now, flashback to like episode 37 of the GameOverGreggy show. Last time I talked about Disneyland. And I'm like, hey, I want to go to Club 33. If anyone out there can make that happen, tell me. So my boy Joey out there, my boy Joey,
No.
he tweets at me.
No.
Totally random, not knowing I'm going to Disneyland. He's like, hey, would you want to go to Club 33?
No.
Like, if you ever did, let me know. So I, slide into his DMs. And I'm like, hey, Joey. Yeah, I would. I'm going to Disneyland with my crew this week. Can we make this happen? Now, at this point, I got to be honest with all of you. I'm like, there's no way that this is real. This is bullshit. But you know what?
Joey just wants a DM from his favorite guy, Tim Gettys.
And I'm like, there's no way. And I'm like, we'll see. So then he immediately messages back. We start going back and forth. Let's get some information. All of a sudden, I get an email from Disney.
No.
It's like, you're invited. And I'm like,
No.
I was like, I don't believe this. So I was like, whatever. So then I'm telling all my friends, I'm telling these Disney fanatics, like, so we're invited to Club 33, but I don't believe it. And we'll see. And so they're like, all right. And they totally.
They're like, show us the email. We'll check for authenticity.
We showed them,
They bring
but
out,
it
the
was still one of
jeweler's
those
eye.
So we get there and we plan on going, and it's like we had to wear certain clothes, and like it's an exclusive
No underwear, right?
thing. No underwear. Totally banned from the underwear. So we get there, and so Club 33, for the
They
people
have
that don't
paintings
know,
where the eyes follow you and they scan for your underwear.
it's a very exclusive thing, and it's just a random door that the address is just 33.
Yeah.
And you go up to it and you ring a doorbell and whatever. So then they had to move it because too many people were fucking with it from the original. So they renovated, and there's this whole other building. But it's just part of Disneyland. And so you always see
Wait,
people.
it's not by the Blue Bayou anymore?
Oh, it is, but it's
Okay.
just like a different part of it.
Okay.
So it's just a new door. So you can look online. There's a bunch of people. They're always posting pictures in front of the door and stuff. I was like, oh, it's Club 33, whatever. So I get there and I see people. They're all Instagramming and shit. And I look at it. I'm like, there's a doorbell. I'm like, I don't know. Do we just ring the doorbell? Like, this is kind of weird.
No.
Ring the doorbell. Hello. I'm like, this is Gettys for 5:30, and they're like, the door just like opens. And I'm like, we all start freaking the fuck out. We're just like, play it cool, play it cool. We walk in, and it was just like, oh my God, we're on the other side of the door. So I
Yeah.
took a picture of the other side of the door, because duh.
Mhm.
Then we're in there, and I'm like, we're all freaking out. Like, I can't believe this is legit. We actually fucking got in. So we're freaking the fuck out. And then Kevin goes from playing it cool to completely losing his shit, because the host goes up to him and goes, hey, would any of you like some hot chocolate? Kevin starts freaking out. They have this little like hot chocolate fountain. You just go over
Kevin,
to.
how sick did you make yourself in that hot chocolate fountain?
Kevin doesn't let his body tell him what to do.
It's just fucking hands
Did you swim in it
into
like? Did you swim in it like
He
Augustus
just
Gloop?
Augustus glooped it. He glooped it. He fucking glooped that fountain.
So we were
They rolled
so
him out of
stoked.
Club 33 like Violet Beauregard.
That's amazing.
So we're in this place and we don't know how to handle ourselves. We're trying to be good, and they have all.
Are
these
they
rules.
okay with you taking photos?
So they're like, you're allowed to take photos. You're not allowed to take video.
okay.
So I'm like, okay, that's good to know. Right?
Guys, just for like a little bit of context here, a charger plate. You know, the plate that they put down when you sit at a nice restaurant that no food goes on. It's just the plate that's on the table, and then they pull it away before your appetizer comes. A few years ago, Club 33 changed their charger plates. And so there were a few plates that made it out, that made it to members. A charger plate from Club 33 went on eBay for $13,000. Club 33 is like Disney Mecca. It's like Disney Valhalla. It's like the only thing bigger than getting into Club 33 for dinner is spending a night at the Dream Suite. No one spends a night at the Dream Suite.
Next goal.
It's a secret.
If you guys have any hookups,
The Dream Suite is the secret tiny apartment in the theme park that's just for Disney guests, where the entire thing is a magical, like it's a whole. It's
a
crazy.
whole thing.
The fireplace is a real fireplace, but also a magical projection of fireworks can happen in your fireplace. Like it's magical.
it's
Okay,
Disneyland.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Club 33 is just like
One step below
one
that.
step below that. It's like every Disney person would kill you. They would have killed you if
Oh,
they had known.
trust me, I know.
Anybody in that park would have sliced your throat and been like, "I'm Tim Gettys."
So we're in there, we're walking in, and we're like, okay, this is crazy. So then the like host comes down to get us. And I'm like, all right, this is already the most legit thing I've ever done. And then it's one flight of stairs up, and it's a beautiful flight of stairs. And they're like, would you like to take the stairs, or would you like to take the elevator? And we're like, just looking at him. He's like, you want to take the elevator? And we're like, okay. We get in the elevator to go up one flight. And he's like, this is the most expensive elevator in California.
No!
And we're just like, yes, this is awesome.
Why?
And we get out, and then you just walk down this hall that's just like there's windows on both sides. You can look down at the whole
The plebes?
What's it called? The
Blue Bayou.
the Blue Bayou
The
area.
working class people?
And like you can just see where we just were outside, right? And we're walking, and the
grunts?
host is bringing us, and he turns around and looks at all of us. He goes, before we get seated, would you like to look down and look down at all the peasants out there? And I'm like, I love this so much. And so they totally, I mean, all it is a nice restaurant. That's really all it is. But they really play it up. And
Nice.
they make you feel so fucking special. And they make you feel like it is what you think it is, because it is. Then you get in, then you sit down, and it's like they're talking about all the charger plates and stuff. I've never seen that much plates. I don't know why we needed that many plates.
Kev, how many charger plates you steal?
So
Tell me
give
you
you
got
Point,
out with a
Kevin
charger
has
plate.
passed out in the sea of hot chocolate.
What are your girlfriends like who aren't into Disney like you guys, but you two goobers are flipping the
I mean,
fuck out?
at this point, like with how this trip had went, and like up until this point of the day, everything went perfectly. We hit everything we needed to, and then you get to this, and it's like we actually made it in.
Yeah.
because we did not believe we were gonna, and so they're all. I mean, they made you feel special. So the girls are like freaking out as well.
Okay.
So we're in there, we're looking at the stuff, and then all of a sudden they're like, I don't even remember the details. You might need to help me on this. They changed out our napkins from white napkins to black
Yeah,
napkins.
they came out. They're like, "We're so sorry. You guys are all in dark."
Yeah, my wife, by the way, asks for that every single time she's wearing dark pants. You get white lint on the pants.
Not problems I've ever had.
Club 33! Air horn! Stormtroopers hitting the ground.
They just run around your table.
So there's balconies you can walk out and just like look at everything, and it's like a perfect view of like you can see the fireworks, you can see everything. I'm like, this is unbelievable. This is just so crazy. You can buy either a 5-course or 6-course meal, and that's just what you buy, and then they just bring you shit. And
Sure.
It's like, this is incredible.
Food's good.
Yeah, I mean it's great. Then you can leave, and when you're done with it, there's like there's a bar and like this lounge area, and the service is like impeccable.
They have the frozen head of Walt Disney in the center of the lounge.
The only place
where
in
the fire pit
Disneyland,
would be.
it's the only place in Disneyland that you can drink. So this is key. So we got fucking wasted.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
I was
can't
gonna
believe
say,
Swagged up.
don't fucking leave that place.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the thing.
yeah.
I would.
we stayed for as long as we physically could before the couple we were with was like, we gotta go. We gotta fucking go. There's still fast passes to be utilized.
Would you go back on rides after this?
We're gonna fast
yeah,
pass
you
to
kidding me?
Drunk Town
That
in the
shit's
middle of
fucking
like
new.
this beautiful food court of wonder.
Aren't you like in nice you're like in nice clothes, right? Are you still in like your shorts and
No,
t-shirts?
there was like changing situations
Okay.
going on. Yeah. So
I would
then-
have just camped at that bar. I would
But
have closed it out there.
they had the story's not done yet. They had these like, it was like not a gift shop, because it's Club 30 fucking 3. It was more of like a gift like display.
Emporium.
Yeah. So it's not too many things, but it ranges from like hats to like freaking ridiculous fancy bougie bags and stuff that cost like $50,000.
Sure, you bought one.
So what I was surprised at is there was stuff that was pretty cheap. So there's the ears hats, and me and Kevin were like, we got to get ears. We got to get them embroidered. We got to rep the brand. Kind of funny.
Ears. Strictly for Club 33.
So they had
Fine
ears.
crystal.
They had ears
Swarovski
for
ears.
$25.
So heavy.
They had shit like that though.
Yeah.
They really did.
Really?
Yeah. But the ears that we were looking at,
Club 33
$25.
is
And I'm
so
like, that's
dope.
how much all ears are. So I'm like,
But
this
these look
is,
different. These are fancier.
I mean, it's the Club 33 logo.
Gotcha,
and
thank
it's like
you.
you can only get it there. So I'm like, we're getting fucking ears. So I bought my ears and I'm super stoked about it. Then we go, we're like, we got to get them embroidered.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, we're going to try to get at Kind of Funny Kevin and at Tim Gettys on our fucking hats because that's the type of people we are.
Sure.
So we go to, like, after all this shit in Disneyland Adventures, and we're so happy, we go to get them embroidered, and that becomes the most issues we've ever had, because they're like, we bring them to California Adventure, and we're like, hey, can you embroider this? The people freaked the fuck out. They're like, oh, we can't do that on those.
We're not supposed to touch
And
those.
it's just like, it's like they haven't seen them before. They're like, holy shit, how
So
did
you went
get
back
these?
to like caveman people, and you bring out like your iPad or
Yeah.
something.
I would love it if this story ended with you guys in Disney jail and then fucking like waterboarding you to figure out where you got these things from.
If
Like
this-
clearly
if
you
this-
didn't
Who
go
did
to
you
Club
kill?
Yeah. Who did you rob to
If
get
the
these?
security droid sees me taking these ears from you, I'll be put in employee prison for 37 years.
Yeah. So we go there and they're like, you need to go to Disneyland. Like maybe they'll do it for you. Because if we ruin this, like, I don't even know, we might get fired. And we're just like, holy shit, calm the fuck down. Kevin is just like, I don't care if you ruin it. Like if you fuck something, who cares? It's a hat.
And they're
So-
like, you don't understand.
Yeah, no, they were like freaking out. So then we go to Disneyland to get this
Also,
shit
you're not
done.
allowed to say things like that about Club 33. we could
go to
also wind up in
Disneyland.
Disney jail for that.
And they're like, we're like, all right, cool. Here's an officially a embroidery place. Like, we'll be fine. We go in and they're like, oh, you can't get those on your hats. I'm like, at this point, they're okay with embroidering something.
Yeah.
They're not okay with it saying that.
Yeah.
Like, there can't be at symbols. I'm like, really? Like, that's your issue.
Like, what if that's my actual name?
Is it just
so
not?
then I'm like, it's my name. Like, it's literally my name with an at symbol. And they're like, and we thought Kevin was fucked. We thought they wouldn't put Kind of Funny Kevin. I'm like, they'll put my name. That's not going to be a goddamn issue.
Mm-hmm.
So what became an issue is the fact that they had to call managers. It turned into this whole thing. And then eventually they're like, all right, he can have Kind of Funny Kevin. You can't have Tim Gettys. I'm like, what? They're like, we can't put your last name on there. And I'm like, it's me. That's who I am. And I showed them like my Twitter. I showed them my ID. I showed them everything. I'm like, at Tim Gettys, this is me. Like, this is legit.
Yeah.
They're like, no, well, you can't do that. I'm like, all right, can I put let Tim host on it? Like, I said, can I put hashtag let Tim host? They're like, yes. And then they're like doing those. You can't do the hashtags. No hashtags. This is fucking hell.
Is it that the embroidery machine doesn't have a hashtag?
No, it had it.
Why put it in the machine if you can't have it?
It was, oh man. But
Why
it
order the
was
one
Disney.
that does hashtags if you can't put a hashtag
Please
on
tell
something?
me you just settled on Bort.
No, so I just got let Tim host. And he got Kind of Funny Kevin, so I had to deal with that.
It's a
But
Simpsons reference.
I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that after all of that, I couldn't get Tim Gettys on my hat.
Okay,
Sorry to hear that.
Okay, well, what's your name, manager? Okay, Karen? Can I get Karen sucks? Can I get Karen's the worst Disney employee ever without a hashtag? I'll
wanna
add
get-
the hashtag later.
Put on there, I'll never come back to Disney.
Yeah.
I would have fucking loved it if you put Karen sucks.
Karen fucking sucks.
Will you put on there that Club 33 is racist?
Oh my god! But anyway, I want to give a huge shout out to David for helping us out because you really, really hooked us up with stuff, and to my boy Joey for
That's
making
amazing,
Club 33
man.
happen. 'Cause,
That is
wow.
amazing.
Thank you.
I'm jealous of you. I'm
Oh,
super jealous right
It's
now.
fucking cool. It was lit.
I can't tell my wife that I was in the same room with somebody who went to Club 33. She'll just be angry. She will transfer that anger onto me.
There was a lot of anger on the internet. People
Yeah.
were pissed, but I'm like,
But
when
they're
you,
haters.
for not
They're just
really
jealous
hating.
haters.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where when you sit at this table and you have to talk about Disney this much and no one cares, this is why.
Here's the thing: is I think that Club 33 should be its own topic.
Mhm.
That was enough there, and that story was I was enraptured the entire time.
Okay.
The Disneyland thing, bored to tears.
Okay, it's fine.
Didn't care.
It happens.
Don't care about your hyperspace.
This is the
mountain.
thing I haven't said almost anything on the show, but I want to say this one thing. I still need you to go to Disney World. Because you talk about Disneyland over and over again, and I stand by the fact that Disney World's way better.
Disney World is way better.
there's
And
no
like,
way.
and like,
Jesus,
no
get the van, let's
way.
go.
And I'm just
come on,
saying,
boys, we're
I'm
going
just-
to Nazareth.
if you love Disneyland as much, I really think you're going to be blown away by Disney
I
World.
love Disney World, but like from all accords, like there's no one I know that loves Disneyland and then has been to Disney World.
Disney
and
World
like
is
it's better.
empirically better. It is larger. It has more attractions. It has more
Way
to
more
do.
Does
filler.
it still
But-
have the hoop-de-doo review?
But Disneyland has a charm to it that Disney World does not.
Yeah, no, I agree. Disney World is
And I will
definitely
agree
more
with that.
is way more corporate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to either since I've been, well, maybe an adult, but like when I was like a teenage, like 18, 19 or something like that. I think was the last time. But I used to go to Disney World. Like I went to Disney World quite a few times, in high school and when I was a little kid. So. I'd be interested to see what you think of it. I'd go in high school every summer with my friend Bryce and his dad. I think I've told that story before.
Bryce.
But I don't like theme parks anymore. The only theme park that's worth a damn to me anymore is Cedar Point, which is still like.
What is Cedar
Which
Cedar
will
Point-
kill you. Which
Cedar-
will kill you dead.
Cedar Point is in Ohio, and I've been there because I was really into roller
Cedar
coasters when I
Point,
was a kid.
Geauga Lake. They will. King's Dominion.
King's Dominion,
All
Virginia.
of those theme parks will kill you dead.
Cedar Point. When I went, Cedar Point had 14 roller coasters. I think which like 4 of which are like world record breaking.
9 of them had literal
It's
holes
like-
in the track where they had to jump it.
Dude, they're insane. Like there was this one called the Mantis, which was like a stand up coaster that like strapped you in. You stood up on it, and like then it was like the Raptor was one of them. There was my friend Bryce and his dad we used to go all over the place because we were really into roller coasters. Every summer we go to all these different parks, and I used to. Oh my god, that place is fucking awesome. Or at least it was in the late 90s.
Did your
like
friends
Magic
ever work
Mountain.
at the hoop-de-doo review? Because this is like one of my other than getting lost and then scarred by Pirates of the Caribbean. This is the third defining moment.
Is that in Fort Wilderness? Where is that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Fort
Yeah,
Wilderness.
yeah.
Yeah, Fort Wilderness is crazy. Fort Wilderness is the Disney-owned trailer park.
That's where we stayed.
Yeah. They have trailers. You can bring in your trailer.
We
and
drove
mobile
from
home.
Illinois in our RV. Yeah, yeah.
And so if you have an RV, there's only one official Disney-sanctioned RV park, and it's Fort Wilderness. They also have cabins. They have like hiking and stuff, and they have like a weird. They call it like the swimming hole. It's like a weird tiny like hole for swimming. It's it's a small like water park. They got like 3 slides or whatever. The Hoop-de-Doo musical review. I remember we used to go there to have breakfast before we went to Disney World because that is also the site where they had the Chippendale pancake breakfast. And the Chippendale pancake breakfast was you go into this giant lodge and they play all these weird like American folk songs and people are dancing around. It's like basically, what is the name of that like really country old like comedy show? That was
Hee Haw.
Hee Haw.
It is like
It's-
Hee Haw.
It's Hee Haw, but Disney sanctioned Hee Haw.
Disney sanctioned Hee Haw.
Did you guys talk about that beforehand?
No.
You just
No,
pulled
no, no.
hee-haw out of your ass?
No.
It's the one. It's
I am
Hee
a
Haw.
student. I am a student of television. I am a student of television, Nick.
It's basically Hee Haw, which makes it kind of
true.
like
Jesus,
scary
that's-
and nightmarish, except parents that are local in Orlando always take their kids to that breakfast because it is the cheapest breakfast, the least crowded breakfast, where you get to meet characters.
Yeah, those character breakfasts, man, they're a big deal.
They're very expensive and they're very hard to get into unless you go to Disney's own trailer park, where they will introduce you to all the
Chippendale.
characters.
Where Greg Miller got lost and had to stop a bus to get his parents called via the radio.
How did you even get to Fort? Like, okay, you were staying there.
The story goes that we drove all the way from Illinois. We only stopped once, slept over. I've never told the story here.
No.
Really?
I don't think so.
Oh. Yeah, okay. So we drive from Illinois in the motorhome to go to Disney World and stay at the Fort Wilderness. But like as a kid, I'm just like, we're going to Disney. I'm in 2nd grade. We're going to Disney World.
Yeah.
I'm going to just be at Disney World. You know what I mean? You don't understand how it's all broken up. So we pull in, we check in, we go in, we park at the site. My dad gets out of the truck. We all stretch and he brings my bike down. He goes, "Why don't you check it out, Gregory?" To which what he meant, ride around the fucking like block of trailers, which to me meant go to Disney World. So I just fucking go. I'm just gone. And like, it's like one of those
He
things.
just saw a castle on the horizon and rode for it.
You're like Simon Belmont.
I totally thought I was going to end up. I thought for sure I'd roll up on the castle and all this other shit and see rides and fucking shit. But no, you just get out and you're just all of a sudden out of the subdivision. I remember I drove by the Hoop-de-Doo review and all this stuff on my bike or whatever. And then I was like, well, I better go home. And then I just went back and like 45 minutes, I have no idea where I am or whatever. And I'm panicking, like, because you're a dumb 2nd grader panicking. And so what I eventually did is I saw a bus. And I jumped off my bike and ran in front of the bus and waved my arms. And then they stopped like, what's wrong? And I just broke down in tears, of course. I'm like, oh, I'm lost. I don't know where to happen.
I'm sure everyone on the bus really appreciated it.
They radioed a counselor or whatever. I don't know what they call him or whatever. A park ranger who came over in a go-kart or whatever. And then the one guy's like, I'll never forget. Somebody else came in, another park ranger. The bus leaves. There's 2 park rangers there. And the guy's like, I don't know. You think we can find their parents? And like the woman who turns to him is like, yes, they had to check in to get here, idiot. Like everyone is like, it's Big Brother here. Yeah, we'll find. And they immediately found me and took me back there. Yeah.
It really is like the off the grid part of Disney World.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
When you're there, you're just kind of like, oh wow.
Yeah.
This is like, it's like that town outside of Miracle on the Leftovers. That's what Fort Wilderness is to Disney World.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Game Over Greggy Show each and every week. 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bring a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny and toss us a few bucks so you can get every episode early. If you don't have any bucks to toss, no big deal. Remember, we post it topic by topic, day by day, Monday through Thursday over on youtube.com/kindafunny. Then on Friday, put up the entire video and the entire audio broadcast. Anthony Carboni.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You're a national
This was
treasure.
fun.
We love you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be here. You know, you say that, and then the way you're clapping, I feel like it's very sarcastic. Like I'm getting like a lot of,
It's
I'm
starting
getting
to
like a lot of mixed
Well, we're getting
vibes.
into like the quack. That's where we're going. Ladies and gentlemen, go support him on
Mr.
Patreon.
Patreon.com/acarboni and patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. Thank you.
He
I
means
love you.
DLC. Until next time,
I'm Christian Spicer.
it's been our pleasure to serve you.
Quack, 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 quack. Mr. Ducksworth. Quack, 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 quack.